Todd Miller, John Brooks, Scott Wanish, John Zonlow, our crew. Before we kick it off, let us pause for stations to identify themselves along the Bison Radio Network. OBU is one deferred. They'll also have that wind to their back out of the south-southeast at about 10 miles per hour. Luke Wendell will spot it on the tee at the south end of Crain Family Stadium at the Herd Athletic Complex. He will kick it away, and he will do so to number 84, Jawan Walker. Cameron Jones is back there as well, but again, with the wind to his back, this should not be returned. Here we go. Luke Wendell, the junior place kicker, has spotted it at the 35. He gets the signal from our referee tonight, Ron Standrich. And week number 4 of the Great American Conference season is just about to commence here in Shawnee. First home game since week number 1. OBU back on the road next week. 6 o'clock game in Russellville, Arkansas. Here is Wendell's approach in the boot. Cameron Jones backpedaling, has it hit his hands and go through the back of the end zone. And it'll be first down and 10 East Central at the 25-yard line. Now let's see how OBU's defense, which is ranked 3rd in the conference against the run, allowing just 135 net yards rushing, will stack up against a very good offense, 2nd overall in total yards, 416. And number 2 are the Tigers on the ground at 241. They absolutely mauled last week's Southern Nazarenes run defense to the tune of over 300 rushing yards and a 44-7 homecoming victory at Ada. 3 receivers to the near side. 1 back set in the backfield is Ontario Douglas. The motion to tight end Dylan Gardner from right to left. And as the snap comes back from Hemseer, we get a stoppage of play in the first penalty of the contest upcoming. And it's going to be false start against East Central. The Tigers come in one of the least penalized teams in the conference. OBU still is having their opponents average over 112 yards per game in penalties. That leads the Great American Conference. In fact, no other team has seen their opponents average more than 80 yards in penalty yardage through the first 3 weeks of the season. Douglas offset to the right of quarterback Kenny Hemseer. Now again, same formation, Gardner in motion, handoff to Douglas, picking his way forward, and OBU's got him stopped at the 21-yard line. Boy, they twisted it and they turned him, and up off the bottom of the pile, there you go, Scott Wanish. Torian Smith missed last week at Southern Arkansas. The sophomore from Edmond was the first to get to Ontario Douglas.
Very important to have Torian Smith because, as you know, Robert Lolafia, that beef is missing with a bad pectoral for 2 weeks. Blake Riley also met him at the point of attack.
3 receivers to the near side, one of which is number 80, Jackson McFarland, a hometown boy from Ada, played in 10 games, limited success here last year with OBU. Douglas offset to the left, high snap, they hand it again to Ontario, running left, not much doing. OBU pinches him down after a 3-yard gain, running tough left, out to the 24. It's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 11. And on 3rd down conversions this year, East Central is not only one of the best in the conference, they rank in the top 6 nationally at over 52% success rate on 3rd down.
Keelandis Colton, the right cornerback for Oklahoma Baptist, came up, played the run beautifully there for a stop for a loss of 1.
The Bison have yielded almost 48% success for their opponents on 3rd down. Can they get off the field here? Play action pass, Hemseer to throw, pocket holds, throws, and the ball batted away incomplete. He was looking for Jackson McFarland, who would have had a 1st down reception, but the ball was knocked away incomplete, and it's a 3-and-out for the OBU defense to start the game.
Felipe Alvear with a diving attempt at an interception. That was going to be a hard one to grab, but if he made that, Bison were set up on the 33-yard line of East Central.
Shea Garner, the junior from Sky, took to receive this punt, and it will come from Harper Simmons, who is among the conference best. He was first-team All-League as a punter a year ago, averaging better than 42 this year, 6th best of the conference. But again, he will punt into the wind. Good snap, and he gets it off. It's an end-over-end kick. Garner says get away from it. It hits at the 50-yard line and then turns over down to the 46 of Oklahoma Baptist. And that's where OBU will scrimmage for the first time tonight with 13:35 to go here in quarter number 1. We're scoreless, and that was a short 30-yard punt from that's Jack Preston, the junior from Amarillo, that was the punter. Harper Simmons is actually their place kicker. Offensively, OBU tonight across the front. It's Lincoln Adams at center, Zach Frazier and Mason Grosser are the guards. Jake Foshee and J.T. Bonga, the right tackle. Preston Hare, the quarterback. Isaiah Mallory will start at tailback. The wide receivers are Henderson, Josh Cordell, and Noah McGraw. Also, Shea Garner will be out there, and when they go to a tight end, Seth Berry will be the first one up off the bench for OBU. First down and 10, Oklahoma Baptist at the 46-yard line of their own end of the field. East Central going 3 and out, a series that was aided by a penalty, an illegal procedure call, and then at just 4 total yards for the Tigers on their first drive. Preston Hare trots the offense out there with a home all black with green numerals trimmed in white, and the same with the font in lettering across the front of the uniforms. The green, white, and black helmets. First and 10 of the 46-yard line for Oklahoma Baptist. 13:35 to play here in the first quarter. East Central will use a 3-man front with Malik Moore, Trenzel Johnson, and Marcel Relaford. They run a 3-4 defense, and that 3-4 defense has given OBU problems from time to time. It's the same set that we saw from Henderson State here 2 weeks ago. Stever, who opens in the backfield, motions to the near side. They swing it out to him, and Stever bangs his way into the sideline out of bounds near the midfield stripe. A short 4-yard gain for Tyler Stever on his first catch of the contest and number 7 of his sophomore season.
Stever with the wheel route out of the backfield. Only 4 yards, as you say, but that's just like a good 4-yard run as well.
13:19 to play here in the first quarter. No score. Oklahoma Baptist about to penetrate into the Tigers into the field for the first time. Trips in a bunch formation wide right. Now they'll motion Gardner to the near side. Back to throw his Hare for the 42. Now he's moving right as the pocket collapses. Preston Hare is going to run it. He's going to have a first down inside the 45 of East Central. And out of bounds near the 43. And Preston Hare can kill you guys with his arms, but we've seen time and time and time again, despite the fact opposing coaches game plan for him, he breaks you down with his legs.
Well, he rolled and he got the first down, but his first look was to the left upfield in the seam. Shea Garner, I think, was the target. He tripped with a defensive back. He was out of the play. That led to the run.
First down and 10 of the 44 of East Central, and the sun is out after a rain shower in the pregame. Handoff, sweeping right in as Isaiah Mallory bangs his way to the 41-yard line, and then he's knocked out of bounds into the East Central bench. How good is it to pick up a first down against this defense on your first drive of the night? East Central, through 3 weeks total, ranks 3rd in all of Division II football nationally, having surrendered just 32 total first downs. They allowed just 9 despite losing to Northwestern in week 1. Second down and 8. They give him just 2 to the 42-yard line. Hare out of the gun, now walks up behind the line of scrimmage. Isaiah Mallory listed it as well as Hare changes the play. Trips to the wide side of the formation, that's the left side of the field. Preston drops to midfield, has plenty of time, floats it deep left for Henderson. The ball is underthrown and intercepted. Jalen Baldwin, the sophomore corner from Houston, Texas, comes up with the interception. That is the 5th turnover, make that the 6th turnover forced by the Tigers this year. They've only recovered 1 fumble. That's now their 5th pick. And for Jalen Baldwin, that's his first pick of the season.
That's really unfortunate. Henderson had a couple steps on Baldwin down the left sideline. Hare was looking for him the whole way, had the wind to his back. And it's really unlike Preston this year of underthrowing the ball.
For Preston Hare, that is going to be his 39th career interception, but only his 2nd of the season. First and 10, East Central, deep in their own to the field on the 7-yard line with 12:09 to go here in the first quarter. Hinsare remains out there at quarterback, throws it out left to Douglas, looking for a block, not much there. And Ontario Douglas is knocked down for no gain. They're going to spot it right at the 7. And guys, I love the way Brandon Morris's defense is attacking Ontario Douglas in the outset.
Beautiful form tackle by Miles Russell on that play on Ontario Douglas. Squared him up, grabbed both knees, and just dropped him to the ground.
And you know what, Scotty? Coach would love to hear that, because on the pregame visit with Todd, he's talked about that very thing. He did not think the tackling was very good last week.
Second down and 10 at the 7-yard line. Ball in the left hash with Douglas in the backfield. Now, Hinsare is going to keep it, and he doesn't have much doing. He's going to tiptoe across the 10. He'll pick up 4 out to the 11-yard line. And again, 4 more black, green, and white jerseys corralling the football. And it's going to be 3rd down and long again for the conference second-best 3rd down offense in terms of efficiency.
Torian Smith was the man on the tackle on that time, usually where Robert Lolafia is playing. Of course, the Bison missed Torian Smith last week.
Wide receiver to the near side of the field. In fact, they have two. They have a single receiver split short left. Out of the gun is Hinser. He'll throw it deep left, and the ball is caught, and it's a first down at the 37-yard line. Going up to make the catch was Tislim Abubakar. And I'm telling you, the corner that time needed to turn his head. That was Keelandis Colton.
It was Colton. Colton was very close to the wide receiver face guarding, but as you said, Todd, he did not turn around, had no idea where the ball was.
Gain of 27 for the 11 to the 38, and East Central has their first down of the contest. 10 and a half minutes to play in a scoreless first half. Each team has had one offensive possession. East Central, the offense out there for the second time. They'll sweep left now with Miles Davis. Gets out of an ankle tackle, gets to the edge, and stumbles into the sideline of the 41-yard line. So Miles Davis, the true freshman from Lawton, 5'9", 170 pounds, is out there for the third time this year. Last week he had 3 carries for 8 yards, and that was his season total. So just his 4th carry of the season, very early, spilling Ontario Douglas.
Keelandis Colton on the tackle. He actually missed the tackle, as you pointed out, but made the running back make a big circle wide.
3-yard gain. They split the backs of the backfield. Himser fakes the handoff, throws near side. McFarland is wide open. The former Bison goes backwards, but forward progress is going to give him to the OBU 47-yard line. And Felipe Alvear and Miles Russell were there in coverage and to make the tackle. But all of a sudden, Himser is really starting to heat up, Brooksy, and he's been able to find targets for big gains.
Yeah, and he's had just enough protection. He's not been forced out of the pocket. Pocket has started to collapse a little bit, but he's been able so far to get the ball released just before anybody could get to him.
Pass completions of 27 and 12 on this drive. 1st and 10, East Central with the OBU 47. Hand off to Douglas straight ahead behind right guard Judd Terry. Not much doing. He'll get to the 44-yard line, a short gain of 3, and now a flag comes in from the head linesman on the near side. That was very, very late. And Blake Riley right now is listed in with his hands on his hips, and some of the OBU defenders, guys, out there acting like it's against them.
I like when the running back went by Tyler Rhodes. Tyler Rhodes swiped at the ball, got his hand on it, didn't knock it loose, so the Bison are still trying to force turnovers.
OBU last week had 6 penalties, and let's listen in to what the infraction is going to be from referee Ron Sandrich.
Personal foul, defense number 3, the necessary roughness. First down.
So after the end of the run, 15 more yards tacked on to the ball, and it'll be to the 29-yard line of OBU. And keep in mind, the Bison this year have been bitten several times in the first 3 weeks by drives of over 85 yards. They've given up 2 scoring drives this year of over 90. And right now, this drive for East Central started back at the Tigers 7. In the backfield is Douglas. They fake the handoff. Himser will keep it, gets out of a tackle, and then is spun down inside the 25 near the 23-yard line. A little zone read play. Guys, it takes a lot of discipline. And so far, knock on wood, OBU has been very disciplined.
And with Ontario Douglas being a standout running back, it is going to be very difficult to do that read option.
3rd first down of the drive for East Central. It's now 2nd and 5 with under 9 minutes to go in a scoreless first quarter. Bison a favorite to go to 2-2 tonight and beat East Central for the first time at Shawnee. Douglas, they fake the handoff. Himser dancing, spinning, still on his feet, gets inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line, and that should be enough by a yard to get the first down. Needed to get to the 19, and Standridge does indeed say first down, Tigers.
Douglas did a good job of masking it, looking like he had the ball, so much so, but he got some help from Henser because he actually went into a frozen statue position for a moment, held, and then broke off and run and got the first down.
First down and 10, East Central. First time into the red zone tonight. They visit OBU's into the field at the 18-yard line. Wide receiver, 2 to the near side, 1 split right, wide right. They motion a man to the backfield, throw it out left. Ball is caught. That's Tyson Jones. And Jones drags tacklers with him inside the 15. Jones is down to the 12-yard line. They're using those intermediate passes now, Scott, as kind of a running game after OBU has been very, very stingy against Douglas and company here in the first quarter.
Those intermediate passes were set up exactly by that read option between Himser and Ontario Douglas. Everybody is keying in on Douglas.
Tyson Jones, the leading returning rusher against OBU for East Central last year. 13 carries at 58 yards, gets his first touch tonight, gets 6. Himser fakes the throw right, now throws it back left and overthrew Ontario Douglas. And there's a reason he did, because he had defenders breathing right down his neck, including Marco Lucas.
And Will Coleman came around the left tight end on a blitz, untouched. There's no place for Himser to throw the ball.
So it's going to bring up 3rd down and 4 for the Tigers at the 12. This is where OBU's defense has been much, much improved from a year ago. Not giving up touchdowns, but in fact forcing the opposition to settle for field goal attempts. 2 receivers wide right, split backs in the backfield. Himser will hand it off to Douglas, gets to the edge, and I think he's got the first down. Douglas is inside the 10 at the 8-yard line, so he will indeed pick up the yardage to gain. It'll be a 1st and goal to go situation now for the Tigers.
That was an outstanding play by the quarterback, Himser. He held the ball in Ontario Douglas's stomach for 2 seconds, where Josh Redmond could not decide who he's going to tackle.
Ontario Douglas, 2 years ago, freshman of the year of the Great American Conference, was the first Tiger to rush for more than 1,000 yards since 2005. Line of scrimmage at the 6, so it's 1st and goal to go from there. Himser turns and hands it off to Douglas. Nowhere to go. Lowered his helmet, went straight into the line. Maybe got a half yard. It's going to bring up 2nd down and goal to go for East Central.
Taylor Monte, the first guy to hit Ontario Douglas for the Bison.
Ontario Douglas, his senior year in high school, and I found this a little bit interesting to research this week. Only rushed for 400 yards his final year at Lawton Eisenhower. He had over 1,300 receiving yards and 15 touchdown receptions through the air. 2nd and goal to go. Hand off to Douglas. Sweeping right, cuts left, did not get there. Ran first into Miles Russell, who drops him back inside the 2 near the 1. And East Central will have to snap it on 3rd down and goal to go.
Very methodical drive. The Bison aren't letting receivers get behind them, which is a positive, but that read option is working.
East Central in the red zone is 7 of 13. All their touchdowns have been rushing. OBU red zone defense 5th best in the conference. They've allowed scores 9 of 12 times by the opponent, but only 6 touchdowns and 3 field goals. Hand off again to Douglas, running right, got a block, walks into the end zone for the touchdown. So Ontario Douglas hits pay dirt, and East Central goes 93 yards against Brandon Morris's defense, and they do it in very, very impressive fashion, only going to 3rd down 3 times, and the Tigers draw first blood.
The last 3 plays leading up to that touchdown were both all read options of going right, where the right tackle and the right guards pushed in left.
Here's the point after try. It's on the way, and it is good. So a timeout on the field. Harper Simmons now is 10 for 10 in extra point tries. Our first quarter presented by Noble McIntyre and McIntyre Law. 6:07 to go in the opening quarter. 7-0 East Central on the Bison Radio Network. Todd Miller, John Brooks, Scott Wattish, John Zonlow, our crew. 2 drives, 1 touchdown for the Tigers. That's the difference. 7-0 Brooks ECU.
You mentioned East Central 3rd, not 3rd in the conference, 3rd in all of Division II football in preventing first downs or giving up first downs. Well, they've certainly helped that stat so far. After that 93-yard drive, equaling the longest of the year, they have 7 first downs. Bison still looking for number 1.
If you're listening to us, you might notice there's a 13 out there to receive a kick. That is actually Keelan Harris, who had been wearing 82. Jackson Smith left the team this week, so Harris now is wearing he is wearing his number 13. Also deep to receive this kick is Tyler Stever at the 5-yard line. 7-0 Tigers. This should be returned. Far side kick to Harris at the 10, down the numbers to the 20. Harris bounces right, cuts left, 25, boom, down he goes at about the 26 or 27-yard line. Hard tackle on special teams, but a decent return for Keelan Harris. OBU entered last week, lead the Great American Conference in kickoff yards averaged per return. They've fallen to 2 this week, just behind Washita. A return of 17 there for Harris. 6:02 to go first quarter. 7-0 Tigers, and OBU will start at the 27. Now, you might remember that last scoring drive for ECU started after OBU picked up a first down in Tiger territory, and that first drive for the Bison tonight started near midfield of their own 46. Single setback, Isaiah Mallory. 2 receivers left and right. They're going to motion a man to the near side. They give it straight ahead to Isaiah Mallory. Not much doing. He falls forward and will pick up 3. Mallory just has had a devil of a time getting on track rushing the football. Last week, 6 carries for 16 yards. Mallory in his final season, a record-setting career here at OBU. Now 37 carries, and he does not yet net 100 yards rushing. 2nd down and 7 at the 30-yard line. Trips to the near side, 1 wide receiver right. Hare operating in the sun-bathed field for the right hash. Straight drops, throws it out near side, and the ball is incomplete, and there should be a flag. How is that not defensive holding against Donovan Callis on the near side? He had the jersey that time of Josh Cornell, who had no chance to come back and make that catch, and that's exactly what Josh is saying to the head linesman.
Yeah, and the side judge is getting an earful for some coaches on the sideline, too. That's amazing. He had the perfect view.
Holy smokes. 3rd down and 7, Oklahoma Baptist. On 3rd down tries tonight, this will be their first conversion attempt. 1 back set is Mallory, straight drop for Hare. Hare now throws on the run, makes the reception to the 40-yard line, and dump truck down is Shea Garner, who caught the game-winning score last week at Southeastern. A catch of 10, his first of the night. First down number 2 for the Bison.
Nice job by Hare getting away from the pressure, rolling right.
Quick snap, handoff again to Mallory behind left guard. Gets out of tacklers, and here he goes, 50. Bouncing left, and he's tackled on a touchdown-saving stop by Callis again, the corner at the 47-yard line. If he gets around Donovan Callis, guys, he is probably going to win a foot race down the boundary.
3 plays ago, you were talking about the fact that he does not have 100 yards yet, 37 carries. He has not had any place to run. On that 3-yard play, I almost mentioned that, at least he had a little bit of a move off the line to get the 3. That time he finally had the kind of hole that made him the kind of runner he was 2 years ago before the injury.
13 yards of the run for Isaiah Mallory. He's only had 1 run longer than that this year, and that was a 25. First down to the Tiger 47, and so on 2 possessions to start the night, Oklahoma Baptist has ventured into opponent territory on both occasions. Garner is back out there, lined up one of 3 receivers wide right. Single receiver to the near side. Out there is Stevers, the tailback. Hare feels the pressure, rolling right from his own 45-yard line, dumps it off across the way, and it's incomplete. Garner could not make a sliding, then a rolling reception. It would have gone for minimal yardage from about the 45-yard line. So to bring up 2nd down and 10. OBU on first down tonight, guys, is averaging less than 3 full yards per snap. Well, you got to do better than that against this defense, or any defense for that matter.
Well, a lot of those first down plays are called horizontal passes to the sideline like we saw last week in Durant.
4:55 to go first quarter, 7-0 Tigers. Tight end left. Fake handoff. They throw over the middle and have the slant, and that is Cornell, and he's rolled down at the 32-yard line. Rolled down by the safety Christian Fleischauer, a freshman from Houston. And the first reception tonight of Cornell is a big one, as it will pick up 15 yards at a fresh set of downs.
Good job by Cornell getting inside the defender, giving a nice passing lane for Preston Hare to hit him with.
Cornell, one of the leading receivers in the country, now has 26 catches on the season. Stever remains out there as the single setback. Hare drops for the 40, throws. Pump fakes, pulls it down, throws it out right. The ball is incomplete. Braden Phipps, who we have not yet seen this year, had it, dropped it on the far side boundary. Phipps, I'm surprised we have not seen before now, guys, had an outstanding fall camp. Just a freshman out of Jinx.
Braden Phipps is wide open on the out route there. Preston Hare led him a little bit too much, but Phipps made up a bunch of ground trying to catch up to that football.
2nd and 10 of the incompleted pass with 4:21 to go opening period. They split the back. Stever and both Mallory are in the backfield. Now Tyler motions to the near side. They throw a slant over the middle, and it's incomplete. They were looking for Noah McGraw, and he got tangled up. It was inadvertent contact with 44 Broderick Odom, the sophomore inside linebacker from Ada. 3rd down and 10, Bison upcoming. This is a huge play.
Very huge play after the big long drive by the Tigers. Really tough to complete that pass with a defense right in his face.
Stever offset to the right, trips wide right, slot left is Josh Cordell. From the East Central 32, they show some pressure off the edge. Now Preston Hare picks that up and checks out of the play, looking over to the near side. OBU is 5th of the conference on 3rd down conversion percentage offensively at 38.5%. Direct snap coming back from Adams. Hare fumbles it, as he dropped it, then he has to dive on it back at the 37-yard line.
And that fumble's going to knock Oklahoma Baptist out of field goal range.
Loss of 5 to the 37, and we've seen no indication of the punt unit just yet. I think OBU's going to go for it, and I'll tell you why. Because with the wind to the back, there's a very good chance Hayden Ashley cannot pin them inside the 20-yard line. So you may not be gaining that much in terms of field position with a punt. I think that's what Chris Jensen and company are thinking. 4th and 15 at the 37. They need to get to the 22 of East Central. Motion man from right to left is Isaiah Mallory. Back to throw his hair. Preston with plenty of time floats it over little for Phipps at the 20. Running right to the 15. Braden to the 10. Stiff arms the tackler. Still going, and he's close to the 5-yard line. Hello, Mr. Phipps. Welcome to Division II football. 2 targets, 1 reception, and a 4th down conversion to boot for the team in the league that has tried more 4th downs than anybody else, Oklahoma Baptist.
Well, he was wide open. I mean, there was nobody near him. He slipped through.
32 yards, make that 31 as they put the ball down at the 6-yard line. Tight end right, wide receivers left and right. Now they motion, man to the near side. They give it straight ahead to Mallory. There was a seam that he's cut down and only managed to get to the 4-yard line as Marcel Relaford, a redshirt senior out there from Oakland, California, defensive end, was the one that maybe saved the touchdown.
Back to that 4th down play. The Bison sent Shea Garner and Josh Cornell up the left boundary and brought Phipps over the middle with all the defense going down the left boundary. Wide open play.
12th play of the drive. Good point, Scott. 2nd and goal to go at the 4. The drive approaching 4 minutes in duration. One back set is Mallory. Now Hare checks out of the play, goes up behind the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers left, one of the slot to the far side. Ball on the right hash, hand off to Mallory, running left, bangs his way to the goal line, stays on his feet, stumbling, and he is down inside the 1-yard line. That is just about as close as you can get to scoring without scoring a touchdown. Cameron Jones was the last line of defense for East Central.
Well, go ahead, Scotty.
I like to see Isaiah Mallory bouncing off 3 tackles there. He did not go down. Like you said, he's had tough sledding all year long, but he bounced off 3 tackles, almost got into pay dirt.
Yeah, we saw him the way he was when he's got a seam on that run earlier on this drive. But we also saw him as he used to be before the injury when he could bang off people inside.
Power look in the backfield. Receivers left and right. The motion Cordell on the right side of the formation. Hare drops, throws left. Receiver open. Touchdown, Oklahoma Baptist. And that's Eli Paul, the converted tailback, who's now a tight end out of Ardmore with his first career collegiate receiving touchdown.
Seeing a lot of new wrinkles for the Bison on offense. Eli Paul was started in the backfield as a tailback, went in motion, went left, and Hare hit him in stride.
Very creative, the offensive play calling for OBU early. On for the extra point is Luke Wendell. Ashley to hold it, snap back, ball down, kick in the air, and that is 60 straight point after conversions by Luke Wendell. Timeout on the field, just over a minute to play. Oklahoma Baptist late first quarter on Eli Paul's first career reception has tied East Central at 7. This is Bison football on the OBU Bison Radio Network. 13-play drive, 65 yards for Oklahoma Baptist. Wendell to kick it off in a 7-7 game late first quarter, and this is a good one with the wind to his back, and it will be brought out for the end zone. Gutsy play by Jawan Walker running left out of a tackle. Now a flag is down as there's an illegal block, and Walker is out of bounds at the 24-yard line. That was actually Quentin Owens and not Walker on the return. And, boy, that is going to prove to be a very, very silly decision after the illegal block is marked off shy of what would have been the 25 on the return anyway.
And it would have been where the ball was marked. So it didn't look like a real bad idea, but the flag behind the play turns out that it was, although it wasn't the returner that picked up the flag, but it is a block in the back. You know, on that 93-yard drive by East Central, we were talking about the first down, Scott. Well, they got 7, and Oklahoma Baptist had none. Well, the Bison now have 7. So there was 7 first downs on that drive. So both teams picking up 7 first downs on long drives to produce a 7-7 tie late in the period.
Back to throw is Himser. Throws it out left for Jackson McFarland. The former OBU Bison turns outside the 15, close to the 16, to gain of nearly 9. Jackson has just 3 receptions for 20 yards coming to this one. Again, he was an all-stater playing for the hometown Ada Cougars as a prepster.
That was just a simple out pattern by McFarland. Keelandis Colton just gave too much cushion on that play for 9 yards.
1:05 in county to play, first quarter, 7-7 score, East Central and Oklahoma Baptist. One back set out there is Miles Davis. They'll throw a pass across the field. It's caught by Jaquan Lincoln, gets out of a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, then turns upfield and is plowed down near the 20-yard line. And I believe it was Noah Velliser that may have been the one that finally ended the run. Also in the vicinity for Oklahoma Baptist, I believe, was Jonah Libacek.
The first man there was Landon Rowlett, who we hadn't got to see until now, who slowed down the run. It would have been a lot bigger play.
Telling you what, it makes a difference having Mr. Landon out there. Gain of 5, first down. Himser hands it off to Douglas. Jitterbugs trying to ran right into the defender that time, Keelandis Colton, who waltzes him to the boundary. And Ontario Douglas, who's been held in check, guys, is only going to pick up a yard, and that should be the final play here of the first quarter. We're under 10 seconds to go in the stanza. Both teams head to the sidelines. And at the end of one from Crain Family Stadium at the Herd Athletic Complex in Shawnee, Oklahoma Baptist and East Central are tied at 7. Our first quarter has been brought to you tonight by the Noble McIntyre Law Firm here with the Bison Radio Network. Second down and 9 for East Central. They now will have that win, which was upwards to 10 miles per hour out of the south-southeast to their back. They'll have it at the 22-yard line after a 1-yard carry on the final play of the first quarter from Douglas.
Into the first quarter, total offense, East Central, 97 yards on 20 snaps, 58 through the air, 39 on the ground. OBU, 24 on the ground and 61 through the air, 17 snaps for 85 yards.
Yes, I've got an interesting stat about how young these two teams are after this play. Second down and 9 at the 22. It will blow your mind. Everybody's talking about how young East Central is around the league this year, and it's true, but so too are the Bison. 15 minutes to go in the first half. 7-7 OBU with only their second first-period touchdown of the season. Himser to throw, throws it out left, has a receiver that's on the Baccar, and he is blown up. Holy cow, a big-time hit that time by guess who? Landon Rowlett. Correction, it was Alvear, not Rowlett, that made the hit. And the gain is for 1 to the 23, so it's going to bring up third down and 8. In the first quarter, East Central was 3 of 4 on first downs. In fact, both offenses were very, very efficient. It combined 5 for 7 were they on third down tries. Tight end right, back to throw is Himser. Has plenty of time, throws it deep over the middle, has a receiver, and he overthrew it. It is tough with the wind, and he led him by about 10 yards that time. And it's going to bring up the first punt, actually the second punt of the night for East Central.
Well, I tell you what, Oklahoma Baptist really almost bit the bullet on that one as Trajan Lands let the receiver run right past him. He didn't run by, got 6 yards behind, and the throw was well overthrown.
Jack Preston will punt, and he will do so with the wind to his back for the first time this year. He can boot it. First team All-League a year ago. Has a long of 71 this season. Stands in punt formation, Mack at the 9. Garner awaits, and he'll stand at the 35 of the Bison end of the field. Snap floats back. Preston with an end-over-end kick, and Garner with the first punt return of the year for OBU. Down the boundary, 35, and twisted and hammered down near the 39-yard line. So a return of nearly 10 on the first punt return of the year, as we mentioned, for Oklahoma Baptist, a 50-yard Jack Preston punt. All right, here's the numbers, and this will really, really blow your mind as we have a timeout of the field. Of the 88 players on the two deep combined for both of these teams entering week 4, 58 of those players are either freshmen or sophomores. OBU has 14 of their 22 on offense, underclassmen. Defensively, the Bison 15 of 22. East Central, 13 of their offensive players on the two deep, underclassmen, and 16 of the 22 on the defensive side of the ball are either freshmen or sophomores. 58 of 88 players on the two deep combined this week underclassmen. I think youth is served.
That's exactly 2/3, 66%.
There is a timeout of the field after that 50-yard punt. Boy, I tell you what, you are just a walking math. I mean, I don't need a calculator. My calculator has a heartbeat.
It's also old.
Well, so's the one on my phone.
Yeah, it's been around a long time.
Hey, by the way, happy birthday, Brooksy. Yesterday,
you.
What were you, 51 again?
Yeah. It's like the 6th, 7th year I've been 51.
Yeah. Happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you. Our 25th wedding anniversary. That was more important.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
She's got you trained well, doesn't she?
Yeah,
First,
she does.
first and 10 at the 38. Now I don't believe anything you tell me. Single setback. They'll motion McGraw to the far side. And now they will toss it to him on a sweep. Noah looking for a block, and he high steps a defender at the 42, gets another yard to the 43. That'll get him 5, and that's one of the better plays in terms of yards gained, guys, in the first half for OBU.
Nice movement going left, as you said, on the jet sweep. The big seal block was by Isaiah Mallory, led around the corner and pinned in the defensive end to allow McGraw to get 5 yards.
Noah, with his first carry of his senior season on Bison Hill, gets 5 to the 43. Second down and 5, Oklahoma Baptist. Early second quarter from Shawnee. And it is a 7-7 tie. Hand off to Mallory, and he's starting to get going as he finds the traction to his liking between the tacklers, between the tackles, and gets all the way to the 47, bringing up 3rd and a yard.
Well, Todd, you said he's starting to get going, and he is. Now, he's done a number of things that we haven't seen him do in the first 3 games. But on all of those occasions, guess what? Those big guys out in front gave him some room to run.
Mallory now with 7 carries in the ball game. He is up over 30 yards. Both of the tight ends are going to be deployed to this set, Seth Berry and also Eli Paul. Paul, you might remember, capping that last drive on a 1-yard touchdown reception. Only his 2nd career score here on Bison Hill. McGraw lines up wide right, now motions to the far side. They hand it off in the backfield, and Stever is blown up and dropped for a loss to the 43. A loss of 4 brings up 4th and 5. There's a flag down, and it's going to be illegal procedure against Oklahoma Baptist.
Linebacker R.J. Williams came through unblocked. Eli Paul, listed as a tight end, was lined up as a fullback and did not touch the linebacker.
Legal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield. That penalty's been declined, 4th down.
There you go.
Hey, you don't hear that one very often. When was the last time you heard 5 men in the backfield?
Somebody at the line of scrimmage was probably off the ball as a wide receiver.
I mean, it's just that's a call that's always been there to be made, but you just never see it.
Here is Hayden Ashley, the 8th best punter in the conference by average, but I'll take what Hayden has done through 3 weeks over anybody else in the league. East Central has 9 along the line of scrimmage, and they love to block punts. Ashley with a good one into the wind, hits at the 21, turns over. Now it's going to be picked up at the 15-yard line, and running to his right, not finding much going, is Cameron Jones, and he'll be tackled to the 15-yard line. And that was a punt that you don't oftentimes see from Hayden. It wasn't a rugby-style punt. He just put a leg into it and got a dandy of a punt off, especially into the wind. Hayden Ashley, over 25% of his career punts coming into this game in his career. Now, 3 years as the Bison punter have started with the opposition inside the red zone.
Allen, Texas special teams player, freshman Nick Boone. He was the guy closest to the returner, and that was a little bit dangerous because he was right on top of him, Scott. If that returner had bobbled the ball just a little, there's a little body contact, might have had a chance for a turnover.
Something that the Bison have been improving on is forcing turnovers.
P&K Equipment is a premier John Deere dealer, proudly serving customers across Oklahoma and Arkansas through their 18 locations, including the Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Springdale, and Fort Smith metro areas. Visit them online at pkequipment.com. Second quarter of the Bison Network tonight from Shawnee and Crain Family Stadium at the Herd Athletic Complex. Brought to you by the Hudaberg Auto Group. First and 10 for East Central at their own 15-yard line. They have not had great starting field position. They have started at their own 20. They've started at their own 7 twice. And now this one of their own 15. 7-7 our score. Still fairly early in quarter number 2 with 12:38 remaining. Hinser remains out there as the quarterback. Now he'll hand it off to Douglas, sweeping the right end, got out of a ankle tackle, then falls forward for 5 out to the 20-yard line. OBU, though, playing very, very disciplined guys on the run defense.
That ankle tackle was missed by Josh Arnold. If he could have had him, he had him in the backfield, gave up 5 yards.
2nd down and 5. Ontario Douglas, at last check, his longest run from scrimmage was 5, so that's his second longest, or that equals his best effort thus far. Good to keep him in check. 3 receivers left, Douglas in the backfield. Himser throws it out, looking for a screen. Jaquan Lincoln is blasted down back at the 16-yard line.
Miles Russell, what a great play by Russell. He was being blocked by another receiver, fought through the block, and grabbed the receiver while being blocked.
Well, that's one of the more disciplined plays we've seen in 4 weeks, guys, by the OBU defense. They read that perfectly.
Outstanding play, very difficult. Miles Russell's outnumbered 2-1, and he makes the tackle in the open field.
If it doesn't work out for him, he's got a career in bulldogging on the PRCA tour.
No doubt.
That's exactly what he looked like coming down there and turning him down, didn't he?
Loss of 2, back to the 18, brings up 3rd down and 7. Himser empties the backfield, throws out right, receiver caught, and then he's undercut, and that is Dylan Gardner, and that should be enough for a 1st down. Gardner knew exactly where the 1st down stick was. He went right there, and then Himser threw a strike. Gardner has his 5th catch of the season. He had the only offensive touchdown back in week 1 for the Tigers in that 21-13 loss to Northwestern.
Eric Preston on the tackle, just a little bit behind on the drag route, allowing East Central for a 1st down.
Split backs to the backfield. Himser turns and gives it off to no, it's an option. They'll pitch it right to Tyson Jones. Jones looking to get to the corner. There's nothing doing. OBU will pinch him off after a 2-yard carry, and they strung that play out just as well as you could possibly do with the option.
Keelandis Colton, a good job at the left corner position, coming up quickly for the tackle along with Peter Papula.
Under 10.5 minutes to go in what has been an entertaining first half. Large crowd here at Crain Family Stadium in the Herd Athletic Complex. OBU officials were expecting perhaps a record crowd tonight. I think maybe some of the early showers kept a few people away, but still a good crowd. Hand off to Douglas, sweeping right in on 2nd down. Douglas turns the corner, and Douglas is finally tackled at the 33-yard line.
That was a tackle by Keelandis Colton, another one of his high helmet tackles, the 2nd helmet tackle he had tonight.
Here's an interesting statistic, too. In the first half, East Central possessed the football 3 more minutes than OBU. Do you know that in their 2 losses, East Central, who's among the top 4 in the league in overall time of possession, is 0-2 when they actually have a time of possession advantage? Strange, but true. Time out of the field, 10 minutes to go before halftime. We're tied at 7. 2nd quarter brought to you by the Hudaberg Auto Group on the Bison Network.
Officials, time out on the field.
Hey, fellas.
What do you think?
We got any extra binoculars?
You know what?
Anybody got any binoculars?
Anybody have Brooksy's got binoculars. He needs binoculars.
I mean, you can need them.
All right, fans.
Use them if you need them, but they need some to see. But if you need them,
And the United States Army.
you do what you need to do. We can get some. You're fine.
Big 3rd down, Scott Wanish upcoming for both teams. The OBU defense, can they get off the field? 3rd and 2 Tigers at the 33.
The Bison need a big play, just like Miles Russell did, 2-on-1, taking them out. Got to be aggressive, got to get some pressure upfield.
It's actually going to be 3rd and about 3.5. The line of scrimmage near the 32. It's between the 32 and 33-yard line. Douglas offset to the left of Kenny Himser. 2 receivers to the near side. Receiver in the slot to the right. Back to throw, Kenny. Himser throws it out left, and the ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it's incomplete. And it's a good thing that it was tipped, guys, because Ontario Douglas was wide open on the near boundary.
And it was tipped enough that it wasn't like it was tipped and he had a chance to catch it. It went completely behind him, 5 or 6 yards behind him. Big play.
Jack Preston on to punt. We told you he's been first team all conference. 6th in the league, entering through 3 weeks at just under 43 yards per punt. In 2 punts tonight, he has averaged 44. stands back at the 18-yard line with Shea Garner, who's already returned one punt tonight, awaiting back at the 19. Not much pressure. Preston gets a dandy of a punt off. A nice spiral down the middle of the field for the 16-yard line at Shea Garner, jitterbugging his way across the 20. And then Garner goes down near the 24-yard line into the arms of his former teammate, Jackson McFarland. A 54-yard punt for Jack Preston.
Tyler King and Elijah Tomlin didn't get back in time to give a good block for Shea Garner as there's a flag out on the field.
Did not see that flag come in. The line of scrimmage is at the 23-yard line. Last week, OBU matched a season high with 6 penalties, but their 78 yards of penalties were the most the Bison have been flagged this year.
52 of the receiving team. Penalties, 10 yards, first down.
Penalty against Nick Boone, 52, who's become a very good special teams player for the Bison. And the line of scrimmage now will go back to the 14-yard line. So this will be the worst starting field position of the night for the Bison. 78 yards at Southeastern, their most this season. Last year, East Central against OBU flagged 12 times for 133 yards. We've seen nothing near that output in terms of flags either way to this point in the ballgame. The side judge and a referee getting together and visiting. Preston Hare already has the offense out there lined up and ready to go. 9:41 to play here in the first half. We're tied at 7. OBU first and 10 after the penalty against Nick Moon. Starts at their own 14-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 right. They have a tight end to the side as well. Back to throw is Preston Hare. Hare moving left, throws it. He's got Mallory wide open. 20, down the battery, 30. Isaiah to the 40. Needs a block, 45, 50, and out of bounds into East Central territory.
Nice design play. Shea Garner kind of played as like a little screen to get the receiver wide open, and then that block that you said he needed, he got from Shea Garner.
They're spotting the ball all the way back in OBU territory at the 47, so that would be a 33-yard pass reception for Isaiah Mallory. He stays out on the field. They hand it to him, running left. Mallory trying to get to the edge, and he almost broke it again. Dump truck down at the 48-yard line of East Central. And Isaiah Mallory starting to really look like his old self in many, many ways out there on the field.
Yeah, deja vu, baby, right here, for sure. But it's been a long time. The last time Dage was around, right?
He's been getting out of the starting blocks.
Reuben Thompson, who came in and played well in the second half at Southeastern last week, out with a knee injury here in week 4. 2nd and 5, OBU at the East Central 48-yard line. Stever in the backfield with Hare. Preston fakes the handoff, swings it out left. Cornell with the reception, and then Josh dragging tacklers with him after he'd already been pushed into the Tigers sideline of the 45. A gain of 3 brings up 3rd down and 2 in a 7-7 game with 8:42 to go in the half.
That cushion by the defensive back was set up by Josh Cornell by running hard straight down the field and then coming to a quick stop.
Abel Willis is one of 2 receivers for the Bison, split to the near side. 2 receivers, including a tight end, lined up left. They'll go out of a pistol formation with Stever in the backfield. Hare gets the exchange, hands it to Stever, 1st down, and he almost broke it. Cradling that football and patented Tyler Stever efforts. Kept his head down and just picked his way behind the left guard, Mason Grosser, down to the 42.
Running straight south, not going side by side, as you said, putting his head down. Straight north-south runner, Tyler Stever, speed and power.
8:19 in counting to play first half. Todd Miller, Scott Waters, John Brooks, the crew with you here on this Saturday night, final home night game of 2019. Stever remains out there after a 1st down carry to the 42. Hare swings it out left for Tyler, looking for a block, gets it, 35 down the battery, 30, out of an ankle tackle, ran over a defender at the 24, and he's knocked down at the 18, and flags all over the place at the end of the play. Holy cow, did you see Tyler Stever deliver a big-time dose of punishment?
To Cameron Jones. Cameron Jones took Tyler Stever's helmet right in the chest, and he is on his back.
After the play, personal foul. Defense number 28. That goal.
Donovan Callis, the freshman from the Colony, Texas at quarter, was the one called for the foul. So it will be half the distance on the end of that play, and a terrific play at that for Tyler Stever. The ball should be in the vicinity of the 10-yard line. If so, it's going to bring up 1st down and goal to go. OBU back in to the East Central red zone. Tigers this year have allowed 3 of 4 scores before tonight in the red zone. It's now 4 of 5. Stever motions to the far side. Mallory stays in the backfield. Hare floats it to the goal line, and it's caught for the touchdown.
Cornell.
Josh Cornell with the reception. And OBU has their first lead of the night, a 10-yard Hare to Cornell pass. And how many times going forward this year and next year are we going to be calling that duo?
What a beautiful route by Josh Cornell. Set up from that previous play. He ran hard down, stopped, let the defender come up to him, and then ran right by him.
Ashley on to hold at the south end to make it a 14-7 OBU lead. Good snap, high snap, but he gets it down. The approach and the kick is good. Had a lot of zip on it, but was just a tad high. But Hayden Ashley, as good as there is in terms of holding for extra points and field goals in the conference. Time out of the field, 7:49 to play before intermission. It's now Oklahoma Baptist 14, the Tigers 7. The second quarter brought to you by the Hudeberg Auto Group of the Bison Network. After Luke Wendell's kickoff into the wind, we will pause for stations to identify themselves. Oklahoma Baptist goes 86 yards, and they only went to third down once. And they had some big plays, both from Stever and from Isaiah Mallory, and Mallory's really coming to the passing game. Wendell to boot it away, and here is his left to right approach. Lights taking effect here at the stadium. Short kick. It'll be fielded to the 16-yard line. Running right to the 20, 25, 30. Cuts left 35 all the way to the 40, 45 down the boundary. Still going inside Bison territory. And then finally rolled down is that is Jawan Walker, 84. And I think Luke Wendell may have been the one that finally rolled him down and maybe saved a touchdown.
That was a really nice wedge by the Tigers. Usually you see a wedge kind of go up through the middle of the field, but they set up a wedge going to the right side, and it kept all the black jerseys of Oklahoma Baptist at bay.
I just didn't think, I agree with you, but I just thought on that kickoff that the Bison got no speed coming down the left side there. They just didn't get anybody down there.
Lack of aggressiveness.
He had a lot of room to run before there were any black or green shirts around him.
You're exactly right. That's probably the poorest job of kickoff coverage all year by OBU, and they've been really strong through 3.5 games in that category. First time for either school to start and the others into the field. It's East Central at the 38 of OBU. Himser still out there, hands it off to Douglas, looking for a seam, lowers his helmet, runs over a defender, and then gets one more yard after contact to the 33. Josh Arnold finally put an end to that run, the redshirt junior at linebacker from Collinsville. But a nice gain for Ontario Douglas on first down.
That was run all the way. East Central had all the blockers at the line of scrimmage except one flanker right.
Ontario Douglas is the bell cow for East Central. He came in with 57 carries on the year. That leads the Great American Conference, and he's only one of 2 rushers to have more than 50 carries through 3 games. High snap, Himser, play action pass. Throws off of his back foot, and the ball is caught inside the 5-yard line. Kelandis Colton never turned around, guys. If he turns around, in the very least, he bats it away. If not, he probably has an interception.
And Jaquan Lincoln got behind Kelandis.
First and goal to go for East Central. The ball will be, trying to see where they put it down. I think they're putting it down at the 2-yard line. So it is a pitch and catch of 31 yards. Man, Colton has got to turn around. 6.5 minutes to play in the first half. OBU for the time being leading 14-7, but the Tigers are threatening inside the 5. One back set is Miles Davis. They'll hand it to Davis, trying to get to the corner, does. Stiff arms the defender and then walks in for the score.
Marco Lucas had him tackled back in the backfield. But
big time stiff arm, though, by Miles Davis. Swatted Marco Lucas, the sophomore, at end away like a gnat, and we're 1 point away, an extra point away from the tie. Here's Harper Simmons. High snap, they get it down, he approaches and boots it through. And there's time out of the field with 6:25 to go here in the first half. Quick strike, quick answer for the Tigers. We're tied at 14 here in Shawnee.
Well, you look at these last 2 scores, you got a game that's tied. One team had to work and work and work to get to the other end of the field. The other team got a long kickoff return. What was that? That was from the 20 all the way to the 38. So you had a 50-yard return, or nearly a 50-yard return. and then you got 2 big plays, and bingo, you're in the end zone.
14-14 our score. OBU comes into this matchup as the second highest scoring offense in the league at 30 points, only behind Henderson State. East Central has averaged 26.3 in a 1-2 start. That is 4th best in the league.
Well, it's tied, like we said, at 14. The first downs are pretty close, 10-8 Oklahoma Baptist. The yardage, 167 for OBU, 153 for East Central.
Here is the approach and the kickoff. A good one with the wind to his back. It goes over the return man, Braden Phipps' head. And Phipps seen his most extensive action of the season, and he already has a big-time catch on 4th down and long. Now back to the receive kicks. Bison 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Coming up at halftime, a scoring recap, a statistical look at the first 30 minutes, and a trip around the Great American Conference with already one shocker in the books. Southern Nazarene stunned Southeastern with a late score and 2-point conversion to Bethany to win 22-21. 6:25 to go in the first half. Mallory in the backfield. Shotgun snap. Hand off to Isaiah. Big running room. 30, 40, could go 50, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. Goodbye. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Oklahoma Baptist. Holy Toledo. Isaiah Mallory shot right through a gaping hole and was not challenged after about his first 10 yards in a 75-yard sprint to pay dirt.
Center Lincoln Adams, left guard and left tackle, all pushed everybody to the left, and Mallory went right up the gut.
Here is Luke Wendell on for the extra point. And Hayden Ashley will hold it. Just like that, a quick answer for the Bison. And it's now 21-14 as that's 62 straight conversions by Luke Wendell.
What was that I was saying about one team had to work a lot and then the other one got to, wait a minute, I think the team that had to work a lot on the last one just got a pretty good one there. Look, here's Isaiah Mallory. He wakes up this morning getting ready for his 4th game of his senior year, and he wonders, where's the Isaiah Mallory that used to be around before I got hurt? You know what? They got a mirror on the sideline. He happens to look into it. He just found him. This is the Isaiah Mallory we remember from the past.
That is the longest play from scrimmage for OBU this season. The previous long was a 50-yard Preston Hare touchdown a couple of weeks ago.
The blocking for Mallory has been night and day, and this has been nighttime. The first 3 games would have been, this has been daytime. The first 3 games would have been nighttime. My gosh, the blocking has been fantastic.
Greg Gothard continuing to do an amazing job working with those guys up front.
Monstrous hole made by Jake Foshee, Mason Grosser, and Lincoln Adams.
Second quarter brought to you by the Hudeberg Auto Group. Wendell approaches and sends it away to the near side from the 16-yard line to the 20, out to the 25, to the 30, and hit hard at the 34-yard line was Quentin Owens on the return. And the Tigers now will try to answer back at a 21-14 game with 6:07 to play here in the first half. Mallory, 8 carries, 108 rushing yards. So his first 100-plus yard rushing effort of his senior season.
Well, how about this?
How about this? Remember that comment you made, 37 carries, and he's still trying to get to 100 yards? Well, he's got 8 carries now for 102 in this game.
He did that in about 24 minutes of this one.
Yeah.
Ontario Douglas, the single setback. Himser walks up behind the line of scrimmage. Now he'll option left, tosses to Douglas, who's in trouble, and he's going to be banged down after a short gain. Gets up to the 37-yard line. And as they unpile, I'm trying to see who it was that made the tackle.
Will Coleman.
Will Coleman, it was. The sophomore who was featured in our player segment here tonight on the pregame show. It's going to be a good one, a sophomore from Austin. He and I had a long discussion this week at midweek. Really liked him. I said, I only had one problem with you. You're a UT fan, but I guess he lives in the backyard. So, yeah, we're not all perfect, right?
Right.
Second and long, hand off to Douglas again. This time on the right, he cuts back at the 40, and then Douglas starting to get on track is wrestled down to the 47-yard line.
Big hole for Douglas as the Tigers pull the left guard, leading the way, going right.
Quickly, East Central has moved upfield for their own 34 to the 47 on 2 carries by Ontario Douglas. You thought coming into this ball game that it would be a shootout between 2 of the better running backs in the league. Isaiah Mallory, who's yet to get on track, and Douglas, who leads the conference in all-purpose yardage, total yardage, and second in total yardage, and leads the league in rushing. Quick throw out right, ball is caught for about 7 yards into OBU territory. Akeem Gordon with a reception of the Bison 47.
Will Coleman on the tackle. Will Coleman really close to the receiver, just a little bit better pass. Nice tackle.
Gain of 6, second down and 4. With 4.5 minutes to play in the first half, OBU at home trying to even their home mark at Crain Family Stadium in the Herd Athletic Complex at 1-1, leading 21-14. 2 receivers right, tight end right as well. Handoff goes to Jones. He almost slipped. Now he makes the cut, has the first down as he stumbles to the 41 of OBU.
Marco Lucas had a shot at him in the backfield, hesitated, was worried about a pitch, and the running back just goes straight up the gut.
The offensive coordinators for both schools are to our right and left, and I think both are playing video games with the other team's defense right now. They've figured some stuff out, have they not?
Need to have some adjustments on the defense both ways at halftime for
Line
sure.
of scrimmage at the OBU 40-yard line. First down and 10, empty backfield. They swing it out right, and the ball is caught behind the line of scrimmage for Ontario Douglas. And then Douglas gets inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Lane Martin making the stop defensively for the Bison.
Jaquan Lincoln with a block to free Douglas on the play.
Second down, 3:41 and counting to play here in the first half. Bison have a touchdown run and a pair of Preston Hare scoring passes to lead 21-14. Douglas has rushed for 1 and Davis for a score for East Central's 2 first half tallies. One back set. Now they're going to option it with Hemshire. Hemshire gets to the quarter and then has the first down as he gets to the 29-yard line of OBU, a gain of 5 on second down and 4. And that's really right now about what the Tigers guys are averaging. They're not hitting OBU with a lot of big plays. It's just been little chunks of yardage.
ECU seems to always have 3 blockers in front of the ball carrier, whichever direction that they're running. Very nice design, as you said before, about the offensive coordinators.
Al Johnson has done a remarkable job in 14 games at East Central. First and 10 for the 29-yard line. Pocket holds him. Sarah throwing deep left, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Walker, who was well defended, and he tried to pull it in one-handed, but the ball sailed out of his reach. Second down upcoming.
Tyler King, very good coverage, was step for step and actually standing in front of the wide receiver and looking back at the quarterback.
I don't know what I'd do without my buddy Josh Beal tonight. He has done nothing but chase papers for me everywhere. I think I'm the only one that has the window open to the press box that I'm paying for it. Second and 10. Good, by the way, good to have Josh Beal, whose dad Al played at OU, and Brooksy called his games with us here in the booth tonight. Second and 10. Handoff left side to Douglas, and he gets to the 22-yard line, a gain of 7. The Tigers have done a good job winning on first and second down. Third and short upcoming with 2.5 minutes to play before intermission.
One of the reasons for that is left tackle Bryce Williams for East Central is really moving the pile.
You remember old Al Bill, don't you?
Al Beal?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you think? I called every game he played in
Pretty
college.
decent player, wasn't he?
Oh, he's a good player.
Third
Played
and
against Larry Bird.
3rd and 4 at the 23. Option right, pitch to Douglas, looking to get to the edge, and he got just enough, I think, for the first down. They're going to spot it at the 20-yard line. Torian Smith was the one that made the tackle for OBU. Right now they've got 4th down on the marker across the way, and it is literally less than, it's just about a half yard away from the needed yard to gain. They need to get just inside the 20-yard line. 1:44 to play here in the first half. East Central 3 of 5 on 4th down tries this year. OBU has yet to allow a successful 4th down conversion. Tight end Dylan Gardner moves from right to left, handed off to Douglas. This time they convert. Behind right guard Judd Terry, he's down to the 16-yard line. So they got almost 5, and a refresh of the downs now for the Tigers with 1:25 to play in the half.
And with 1:25 to play, now they'll get the chains move, the clock will start to move again down to 1:15, and both teams have not chosen to take a timeout to this point, so a lot can happen here in a minute 8 with 3 timeouts.
Trips left, tight end right, one back set. Himser to throw, fakes it left, throws it out right. The ball's dropped. Miles Davis had it hit him, and he dropped it. Correction, Tyson Jones was the intended target. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 at the 16-yard line.
Jones had some blockers in front of him. In fact, they were all together right there. It looked like almost anybody could have picked it. And then Jones turned to get it and turned back again too quickly, and the ball popped out of his hands. If he holds on to it, he's probably got 6 or 7 yards behind those two big linemen out in front of him.
2nd down and 10 to the 16. Clock stops with 61 seconds to play in the first half. Douglas motions to the near side. They throw it to behind the line. Cuts right, eludes 2 defenders, and just pounced down at the 15-yard line. And he was hit hard.
Coleman again.
It was Will Coleman who was having a terrific first half, and OBU diagnosed that very, very well.
We don't always get a chance when they're shuffling like this, but you're beginning to feel that the OBU defense is starting to get some depth because there have been a lot of players on the field here in the opening 2 quarters of play.
3rd down and 9 of the 15. They've had to because they've had a lot of injuries on that side of the ball. Back to throw him. He's going to keep it and run. He's dangerous, and he'll walk in for the touchdown. That was not a called play, I don't think.
No.
But
not at all.
Boy, did it work out great for Kenny Himser.
I mean, the rush came and nobody played a lane up the middle, and when he saw it, it was goodbye city.
Simmons to tie the game at 21. 3rd rushing touchdown for the true freshman from Needville, Texas. Kenny Himser. Good snap, ball down. The kick is on the way, and it is good. So just like that, we have the answer. 20 seconds to play first half. And we're tied at 21 between 2 of the 4 highest scoring offenses in the Great American Conference.
You know, you can say they're 2 of the highest, and it's understandable, and you had 2 scores here in the final 5 minutes of the first half of play. But both of these teams' defensive coaches, I think, are going to have a whole lot of things to say. Back to Mallory's 75-yard run on the East Central side, and certainly from OBU's side defensively on that scramble by Hunter up the middle when literally nobody plugged the gap.
Now remember, the Bison will get the football to start the 4th quarter, or the second half. Tigers about to kick it away. Harper Simmons will do the honors, looks left, points right. Now approaches with a wind to his back, and he boots it away, and this will not be returned. And OBU will have it at the 25-yard line. Let's see what they do with 3 timeouts, how they will elect to play this with 20 seconds to go in the half. Scott Wanish is headed downstairs. He will talk with Greg Gothard. He'll also talk with Brandon Morris during the halftime festivities here on the Bison Network. Three receivers right, 1 left. OBU may try to take a shot down the field here. Now it's a draw play as they get it to Mallory. 30, running left, and 35, and he's banged down. Did he get to the sidelines? Yes, he did, at the 36-yard line, a gain of 11. That'll stop the clock, preserve the timeouts. OBU has all 3 left. 13 seconds to go in the first half. Big night for OBU football. Good crowd here on hand against area rivals East Central, and they have a lot of very good recruits in town. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line. Eli Paul tied in left. Back to throw his hair. Pump fakes, throws it out left. Ball caught for a first down and out of bounds. And that'll be Josh Cordell who makes the reception. That'll get him 11 to the 47-yard line. And now 8 seconds remain.
The good part about this, with 8 seconds, you've got a chance to go over the middle deep here. And if you get the reception, you've got an opportunity to get a timeout with maybe 2-3 seconds left, then have an opportunity maybe to kick the field goal.
Set at the 47, it's actually at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10, 5 receivers set, empty backfield. Preston Hare swings it right for Shea Garner. Garner angles to the near side, gets out of bounds, and gets what he can near midfield. Gain of about 3 with 3 seconds to play, and I think now you just heave it down the field and hope for some good fortune.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I thought maybe, they would try something over the middle. But on that little swing pass, you just simply weren't going to get enough yards. Running out of bounds stopped the clock, but there wasn't a lot of yardage on the play.
2nd and 7 at midfield. 3 seconds to play in the first half. We're tied at 21. Barring a defensive penalty, this will be the final play of the first half. Isaiah Mallory in the backfield with Hare. Bunch formation short right, 1 wide receiver wide left. Now they'll just keep it on the ground, hand it off to Mallory, and there's some running room, but he's tackled at the 44-yard line. That will get him a gain of almost 6 and a first down on what is the final play of the first half. 30 minutes in the books. We're tied at 21 here from Crain Family Stadium and the Hurt Athletic Complex. Scott Wanish looking for either Greg Gothard or Brandon Morris. And I believe he's going to corral the defensive coordinator for OBU, Brandon Morris.
Coach had some good plays, open field tackling by Miles Russell. Good form tackle on the first drive for a stop. And then one time Miles Russell fought a blocker and tackled the ball carrier like 2-on-1.
Most definitely. He's one of our playmakers on defense, and he's an older guy. He's a vet, makes sound tackles, and makes good decisions. Yes, sir.
On the option, Ontario Daniels is a great running back, but is there going to be some adjustment at halftime about reading their option?
I felt pretty confident in how we play the option so far. We just got to make sure we run our feet through tackles. We're there to make plays. We make contact where we need to make contact. We just got to finish tackles.
And missing Lolafia, Robert Lolafia is out, but you have Torian Smith and Landon Rowlett added to your defense.
Most definitely, and those two help tremendously. Torian's a big body up front. He uses his hands well and is strong. And Landon brings some added depth to the strong safety position.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Brandon Morris in his 2nd season as defensive coordinator at Oklahoma Baptist. We're tied at 21 between the Tigers and the Bison at intermission. Visit shopobubison.com, the official online store of Bison Athletics, and browse their tremendous selection of officially licensed OBU shirts, hats, jackets, and much more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. 21 apiece. At the break, we'll have the scoring and stats and much more coming up after these messages on the Bison Radio Network. Is that Harris?
Yes. Got knocked out of bounds by this thing walking. No, he didn't go out.
Keelan Harris on a kickoff, not quite to the goal line, brings it out, and he's corralled and dropped at the 12-yard line, so that's where OBU will take over. 1st down and 10. It's the Bison's worst starting field position of the evening in a 21-all game with 14:51 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Single setback as Isaiah Mallory had a huge first half. 10 carries, 122 yards. He gets the first handoff of the second half, sweeping right in and not much doing. He'll pick up to about the 14-yard line. So a gain of 2 on a generous spot, going to bring up 2nd down and 8. OBU in the first half rushed 14 times for 123 yards. East Central, the conference 2nd leading rushing team, 25 carries, 111 yards. 2nd down and 8. The line of scrimmage is at the 13.5-yard line. Bison sent a man in motion. That's Shea Garner from left to right of the formation. Back to throw his Hare. Has plenty of time. Slings it a little on a diving reception for a first down past the 20-yard line. Josh Cordell making the reception, and he got it by about 2 yards the first down. Bison now have 15 first downs against one of the stingiest defenses in the country in terms of yielding 3rd down conversions. Gain is to the 23. Fresh set of downs for Hare. Wide receiver, wide left is Josh Cordell. 3 receivers, short right with Mallory in the backfield. He's offset to the left of Hare. No tight ends in this formation. Preston drops to the 15. Throws a little floater near side. The ball is caught by Cordell at the 49-yard line of Oklahoma Baptist. He had beaten Donovan Callis, the corner, that time, and then immediately gets up on the boundary on a perfectly thrown football from Hare to signal first down. The gain goes for 28 yards.
You got that right. That was a beautiful pass by Hare in a tight window.
Quick toss to Mallory, running right. Isaiah tiptoes his way out of bounds, and a flag comes in late at the end of the play. And they're going to spot Isaiah out of bounds after a 2-yard run to the 47. Penalties in the first half. OBU 2 for 25. East Central 3 for 33 yards. And both of these two teams are not really penalized that much. However, their opponents are 2 of the top 3 most penalized teams in the league through 3 weeks.
I don't like that lateral coming back after the big play downfield. As you said, a perfect pass by Preston Hare. You have the momentum, and then you throw a lateral and you go straight into the line of scrimmage.
Jacquez Henderson was guilty of the hold, so the ball goes back into OBU's into the field at the 44-yard line. And it will bring up first down at about 17 yards. Bison need to get to the 39 of East Central. First possession of the second half. We're tied at 21. Mallory in the backfield with 2 receivers split short right. Gives straight ahead to Mallory, weaving his way, and is dropped as he crosses the 46 after the 47-yard line, a gain of 3. So second down now and long upcoming for Oklahoma Baptist.
Only 3 yards on that play for the Bison, but Lincoln Adams, the center, got a good push to get those 3 yards.
Braden Phipps is into the ballgame, a 5'11", 175-pound freshman. We highlighted him in the first half. Did have his first catch on a scoring drive for OBU. Had not appeared in any of the first 3 games for OBU this year. Cornell is split wide to the near side. They have 3 receivers split wide right, and Mallory in the backfield with Hare. From the 47 to rate snap, Hare drops, throws left, looking for Cornell, and he couldn't make the one-handed catch. Tell you what, that's been a great matchup tonight on the corner, either with Callis or in this case, Jalen Baldwin. Both are underclassmen. Callis is a freshman and Baldwin is a cover corner, just a sophomore out of Houston.
Exactly, and Baldwin was all over Josh Cornell, but yet Cornell still somehow got his hands on the football.
It's going to bring up third down and 14 to the 47-yard line. Both teams were very, very efficient on third downs. OBU was 3 of 5. East Central the first half was 5 of 9. Tigers, though, converted 4 of their last 6. Shotgun snap, floats back from Adams. Hare straight drop, throws it again left. This time looking for Pip. He's caught at the 30. He's to the 20, to the 15, touch right. Pip to the 10, stumbling, and he's tackled from behind. Holy Toledo, Braden Phipps. Welcome to college football, son.
Braden Phipps with some big plays in the first half, and that coming back to the ball. As we said, sometimes the OBU defenders don't look back. That time the East Central defender couldn't find the ball, but Phipps did, and a nice cutback.
47 yards on the play, longest obviously of his career, and Braden Phipps showing why he was such talked about and so beloved coming out of fall camp. Tight end right, handoff goes to Stever, trying to make a cut in the backfield, and he may have gotten to the 5-yard line if he's lucky. Second down and goal to go for OBU, trying to break a 21-all deadlock with 11:47 to play here in the third.
Tyler Stever, hard head of steam, north-south runner, but that was on the delay. I think that doesn't work to his strengths on the delay. I think if it's a quick hitter, Tyler Stever can get through that hole.
1 yard for Stever, so he is at 0 yards on 3 carries tonight. Stever still in the backfield. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Hare fakes the handoff, floats it up, back left corner, receiver open, caught, touchdown.
Cornell.
Josh Cornell again beat the corner, and Preston Hare just floated up as perfectly as you would please. Josh has now 6 touchdowns in 3.5 games.
Boy, that coverage was really backed off of him, wasn't it? I mean, he takes five quick steps. He's in the end zone, and the defender is laying way off of him. I mean, that was That was a nice throw by Hare, but it was a throw where he had plenty of room to throw it.
Wendell's extra point is good. Bison go 88 yards in the opening drive of the third quarter to take a 28-21 lead. We're back in a moment. The third quarter brought to you by the North American Mission Board of the Bison Network. It is Josh Cornell on the receiving end. 28-21 Oklahoma Baptist, early third quarter, and now Luke Wendell with a wind to his back, set to approach and kick it away. See if OBU can regain the mojo defensively they had in the first quarter. Here is the approach. Ball kicked away. About 2 yards deep in the end zone. They're going to bring it out to the 5, to the 10, out to the 15, swinging right to the 20. A flag is down. He's tackled right there. On the return for the Tigers was Quentin Owens. And now let's read the flag. I'm going to guess that it's probably against East Central. And if so, that's going to put half the distance to the goal line.
And that was a nice tackle by Eric Preston, coming full speed, looping all the way around from behind to grab the ankles.
For every season, the First National Bank and Trust Company is your bank for life.
During the return, holding, return team number 11, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Kalen Boswell, number 11, the one guilty for the hold. So East Central will start again at the 10-yard line. Their average starting field position on all but one drive, you take out the one that they started at the OBU 38, has been at their own 16.5-yard line. 11-13 to play here in the third quarter. Bison back on the high side, 28-21. Douglas gets the first handoff of the second half, cuts right to left, and now back left to right, and leans forward out to the 16, running straight up the chute for a gain of 6. And that again, Scott, you don't want to beat a dead horse, but that's where they have been so successful, getting huge gain, not huge, but very manageable deficits on second and third down conversions.
You're exactly right. But to the Bison, that wasn't a very big hold. Daniels just found that hole and just kept on powering through there.
Second down and 4 at the 16-yard line. Douglas in the backfield. They sweep the right in this time with him. Ontario's in trouble, but is able to reach out and get a first down carry to the 20-yard line. He was ushered out of bounds by Lane Martin, who also had some help from Keelandis Colton and others. He reached out at the 20, and that looks like it's enough for a first down. They are signaling first down.
As you pointed out, when you get 6 or 7 on the first down, it's a lot easier to get that second down and the first down on third down.
10:23 to go, third quarter. Todd Miller, Scott Wanis, John Brooks, John Zonlow at our Oklahoma City studios. 28-21, good guys. Out of the shotgun with it is Kenny Henser. Henser now will sweep it left side with Ontario Douglas, and he is hit at the 27-yard line after a gain of, there you go, 7 more on first down.
And Douglas broke about 4 tackles to get those. He was stopped with 2-yard gain, and he gets 4 more yards.
Ontario Douglas did not play last year. He was injured after being the freshman of the year of the Great American Conference. Back in 2017, he was the first 1,000-yard rusher for East Central since 2005 back in 17. Handoff this time goes to Miles Davis left side, and there's nowhere for him to go. Bison swarming and pushing back for a 2-yard loss to the 25. And there you see, Scott, the difference between Ontario Douglas and Miles Davis. Nothing against Miles Davis, but Douglas can make so much out of very little.
No doubt. And Lane Martin will not get credit for the tackle on that play, but he had contained. He got to the sideline and forced Douglas in where he could not go to the first down marker.
Third down and 5 on conversions of 3rd and 6 or more. East Central only had 2 successes in the first half. And again, they were good in the first half, having converted 5 of 9. Tigers come in second best in the league, 5th in Division II football at nearly 53%. Henser to throw, rolls right, has a receiver near side, Jaquan Lincoln, and he's got the first down. He's out of bounds at the 32-yard line. They needed 5, he got 7, and OBU just unable to get the defense off the field.
Too much cushion by the defensive backs. Miles Russell got there a little late, knocked him out of bounds.
Gain of actually 8 as they spot it to the 33-yard line. And again, poor starting field position tonight has not been detrimental to East Central's offensive attack. They already have a 90-plus yard scoring drive in the first half. High snap. Now they'll stretch it out. Running left is Douglas. Breaks a tackle with the 40. Still going, and he has very near a first down carry just beyond the 43-yard line. Douglas is running extremely hard right now. Looks like a guy that is trying to will his team to a victory.
Got to give it up to the Tiger offensive line. They're opening up holes. And as you said, Douglas is running very hard, and when he finds a hole, he goes right up north and south.
Ontario Douglas, 17 carries in the first half, 62 yards, has done most of the work of this drive, but is now upfield 33 yards for the 10 to the 43, and a flag comes in. And I think we have a false start against East Central.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That is the hometown boy, Dale Story, the center for East Central. 6'1", 290 pounds, and a sophomore from here at Shawnee. This is one of the bigger offensive lines the Bison have faced to this point in the year. They average 303 pounds tackle to tackle across the front, and they've given up the third fewest sacks in the league at just 3 through 3 games. 1st and 15, line of scrimmage back at the 38-yard line. 8 minutes to go in a rapidly played third quarter. Back to throw, Himser has plenty of time. He'll roll left. Now Plants throws deep left. Ball is underthrown, and the ball is intercepted at the 25-yard line. They were looking for Akeem Gordon, and it was woefully underthrown. And Colton was able to get inside position and pick the football off. And there is a big turnover, something Brandon Morris Scott addressed to you at halftime.
Huge turnover. They made the plays just as you said Morris wanted to do that. We're having more turnovers this year for the Bison. Kelandis Colton turned his head, something that you had a complaint before. This time he was looking, he found the ball going back, used his body on the receiver as a block out, caught the interception running backwards.
7:58 to play here in the third quarter. 28-21, and OBU has the offense back out of the field after they forced the first East Central turnover of the night, each team with 1 turnover. Hare out of the gun, fakes the handoff, quick drop, throwing deep right. He's got Noah McGraw, who makes the jump ball catch at the 45. It is tackled at the 44-yard line of East Central. He went up that time against Kewan Neal, the redshirt freshman corner. It was another somewhat jump ball play, and Noah McGraw's going to win all those.
Hey, when you say jump ball, you know who's coming down with it.
Noah McGraw, 2 touchdowns last week in Durant, out jumping the secondary.
30 yards on the reception for Noah McGraw. First down, OBU at the Tiger 45. Handoff goes to Mallory. Bucking through the chute, straight ahead, gets up to the 43, a short gain of 2. We are under the midway point here of the third quarter. Oklahoma Baptist trying to win their second straight. Beat East Central for the first time at home in the Division II era and win the 15th game of the series for them that dates back to the early 1900s.
And a scenario we haven't had tonight, a team with a 7-point lead and the ball again.
You know, I thought to myself at halftime, if one team could get up 2 scores, well, that really makes it tough the way these offenses have operated. Second down and 8. They empty the backfield. Mallory motions to the near side. Harris flush for the pocket. Now rolls right, dumps it off. Pass is caught at the 41-yard line. And Noah McGraw made the catch.
Nice job by McGraw cutting off his route, seeing that Preston Hare's in trouble. He goes straight to the sideline for a short catch.
Only 2. Noah McGraw comes into this ball game. He needs 79 yards to become the 5th Bison to break 1,000 yards receiving in his career. Third down and 6, Oklahoma Baptist at the 41-yard line. Now Hare checking out of the play. 6:16 to go here in the third, and OBU has pretty much owned time of possession of his third period. One back set is Mallory, twins left and right. Here a 2-step drop. Now he is going to be flush for the pocket. He's going to run. They had a spy on him, and they drop him about 2 yards short of the first down at the 37-yard line. That time Malik Moore stayed home, and he rode him to the ground. So many times we've seen that turn in not only to a first down carry, but maybe a scoring play for OBU.
Pretty good play, too, because that's a true freshman out there.
Who isn't young out there on that
Yeah,
defense?
I guess you're right. 66%, 2/3.
Fourth down and a long 2 or a short 3 at the 37.5-yard line of East Central. No brain decision for Chris Jensen and company. Pistol formation for OBU. Handoff goes to Mallory. He has the first down at the 35, and he lowers his helmet and gets to the 34-yard line. They ran behind the veteran Jake Foshee at left tackle, and then the newcomer Mason Grosser, a sophomore out of Allen, Texas, on that left side.
Those are two mammoth plays for the Bison tonight. 2 4th-down conversions, one on 4th and 17, that one 4th and 3.5 or 4, and they actually ran the ball.
6th play of the drive started back at the 25. They're upfield at the 33 of East Central. Stever is out there for Mallory. Straight drop for Hare. Now he's flush for the pocket, gets out of a jersey tackle, and he's got running room. Running left to the 20, and then tiptoes his way out of bounds to the 17-yard line. There you go. That's what we thought we might see 2 snaps ago when Preston was forced for the pocket. This time he'll settle for about 16.
I think that was a designed pass, but the last 2 that Preston Hare did, he ran.
It's a 15-yard gain to the 18. 4:40 to play here in the third quarter, and OBU threatening to take a 2-score advantage. It would be the biggest lead for either school tonight. They have a tight end right, 2 receivers that way. Now they'll motion Cordell to the far side. It's a toss sweep. Josh cuts inside at the 15 to the 10 and is down there after a gain of about almost 8. Chris Jensen was telling me a couple of weeks ago, and I think he may have even said it on media during the week, that Josh Cordell really took offense last year to not being used much at all. I mean, he said, I should be out of the field. He was tearing the defense up during practices, didn't get a lot of time, and then finally got some chances late before injuries set in. But I've told you, former players that have played with this guy say he's going to be the best to come through this program, and I believe in it. Make that 2nd down and 2 at the 10. Bison back in the red zone. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Hand off to Stever, and Tyler, with those big, strong legs, keeps going inside the 5. He's close to the goal line, and in for the touchdown. Are you kidding me? They had him stacked up at the 5-yard line, guys, and then I'm not going to say he squirted out. He just kept moving those powerful legs, and then all of a sudden you see him reach out at the goal line for the touchdown.
And he left 6'2", 285-pound Marcel Relord down, or what is it? Yeah, Relaford, yeah. Down on the ground flat, ran right over him.
Wendell on for the extra point, and it is good. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. And OBU, with 3:41 to go in the third, has broken the game open to lead by a count of 35-21 over East Central. We'll pause for these messages from the North American Mission Board of the Bison Network. Tyler Stever gets the rushing touchdown. Oklahoma Baptist has stretched the advantage now to 35-21. Stever now has his 10th career rushing touchdown, and he is only 4 games into his sophomore season.
And he didn't play all of last year either.
You know, I want to thank publicly all those other schools that really didn't want to look at Tyler Stever. I don't think he had a whole lot of options. I think walking on at OU was one, and then Oklahoma Baptist, and man, did people go to sleep on him. Here is Luke Wendell's right to left boot with the wind to his back. This will drive the return man back into the end zone. And are you kidding me? He's going to bring it out from 6 yards deep. Jawan Walker, 10-15, cuts right to the 20, struggles up to the 23-yard line. OBU's kickoff coverage, Brooksy, you talked about this in the first half, not as good as it has been in prior games. And I think they may have even been surprised that Walker, 5 or 6 yards deep into the end zone, elected to bring that out.
Well, you're not going to do that if your coaches say, that ball's in the end zone, you're not returning it. That's just twice it's happened, which makes me believe that somebody said, you got a shot if you're in the end zone against this team to return it and maybe get some decent yardage. They came within 2 of where it was going to be.
1st and 10 at the 23. Hinsare out there, hands it off to Douglas, tries the middle, bounces right, cuts left, 30. First down as he plows forward to the 34, now to the 40-yard line. Man, he just would not give up, much like Tyler Steeler on the previous offensive snap for OBU that resulted in a 10-yard run.
The offense has been impressive tonight for OBU, but when you look at these figures, I think it really adds to it. 73, 77, 75, 88, 75. Those are the drives.
And very impressive. And I'll tell you what, I think their clock management, their play calling has been very, very good here tonight. Gain of 17 for Douglas, who's threatening to go over 100 yards rushing. Back to throw Hinsare. Has all day long, throws over the middle, has a receiver wide open, Lincoln to the 25, and he'll walk in for the touchdown. You will never get an easier touchdown toss for Kenny Hinsare than the freshman from Needville, Texas, just made right there.
I think Keelandis Colton just got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Is it me, or has Keelandis Colton had better days?
He just made a nice interception this time. He lets the receiver get back, and it looks like he mouthed off.
You sure that was Keelandis? These numbers are a little bit hard. I thought that was Tyler King. Tyler King and Coleman were over here. That was Tyler King.
You're right. My apologies to Keelandis, who's a good kid. Tyler King was the one that made a freshman mistake right there out of Wowoka.
Personal foul, defense number 3.
No, it is on Colton.
15 yards will be applied on the kickoff.
All right, it was on Colton. They'll apply
was it number 30, wasn't it?
It was
Did you say 3?
On for the extra points is going to be Simmons. This to pull East Central within 7. Low snap. Good job of getting the ball down. The kick is on the way, and it is good. And that was because of the efforts of Jack Preston, the punter, who handled the low snap.
Now the run for East Central and Douglas is setting up these deep passes, and that was wide open.
Well, that was a deep pass with 3 guys all looking at each other after the play was over, and they're all, I have no idea what they were saying, except we know the general topic. Wait a minute, wasn't that you? Where were you? Wasn't that, that's the conversation there, because those were 3 guys who were totally mixed up on the play.
And Oklahoma Baptist University getting up by 14 points. That's really the only way that East Central can get into the game, is just those big free plays like that. The Bison can make them have those long, prolonged drives and then come back and score. East Central is going to run out of time.
East Central will have several options on this kickoff now after the personal foul and sportsmanlike conduct on Colton. They will put the ball on the tee with Simmons at midfield. Could be a sky kick. Again, they're kicking into the wind here for the final 2:51 of the third quarter.
Not much wind now. The wind's down a lot from what it was when the game kicked off. That flag's pretty limp out there in the north end.
Moving just a little, but you're right, has died down considerably. The weather has really gotten better from around 5:30.
It's a beautiful night for football.
Yeah, it is. 2 plays, 73 yards the drive. Simmons will kick it away, and the OBU will call for a fair catch at the 4-yard line, so they'll advance it out to the 25. And the penalty really, in essence, didn't do much to hurt the Bison.
I really think I would have squibbed it.
I do too.
Squib it down. I mean, if
that's why I said they've
you're going
got
to fall
options
on it at the 17, you picked up 8 yards.
Yeah, they've got options, and they didn't really exercise those options. Third drive of the second half for OBU. They've scored on their prior 2 drives. Let's see what they can do right here. Starting to their own 25-yard line with 2:51 to go in the third. Back to a 1-score advantage, 35-31. This is a good rivalry and one that's only going to get better as these 2 programs continue to emerge. First play of the drive, a handoff to Mallory. Big hole, 30, 40, running right, 50, 45, 40, and he's run down from behind on a touchdown-saving tackle by Cameron Jones.
Here's the beauty of that. That's just a little short opening run on the left side, and he breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and when he did, he hopped back to the right, and suddenly he had lots of running room. He almost took that one all the way.
38 yards later, he's tackled to the 37 of East Central by, again, Jones. So first down for OBU, and here come the Bison again. Mallory is out, in is Stever. Tyler, they fake the handoff and swing it out right. Phipps has the reception and tiptoes his way to the 35, and now a flag from about 20 yards behind the play comes sailing in towards the far sideline. As it stands, it is just a 1-yard reception. OBU is starting to retreat. And this game now is starting to get a little bit sloppy, Scott, from a penalty standpoint for the Bison.
Lack of discipline. I knew that Keelandis Colton got that penalty when I saw Jason Milo grab Colton by the jersey, basically a horse collar, and just telling him what he did wrong.
Here we go. See what this is.
During the personal foul, block below the waist, offense number 85. 15-yard penalty.
That's against Shea Garner. So a short gain.
That was a block below the waist?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, let's go back to Mallory for a minute. Coming into the game, he had 89 yards net for the season in 3 games. He's now carried 15 times for 171, which means that he is 7 yards shy of doubling his season total tonight.
1st and 25 for OBU, back at the 49. Hare hands it off to Stever, squirts free, 40, cuts left to the 35, still going and bangs his way to the 33-yard line.
Wow.
How would you like to get in the way of that? Jalen Baldwin was the one that challenged him finally at the end to get him to the ground.
Tyler Stever sidesteps the would-be tackler at the line of scrimmage, just like Mallory did on his long run.
19 yards brings it to 2nd down and about 6 for Oklahoma Baptist. Tyler Stever having his best rushing game of the year. The Bison having their featured backs getting the work done on the ground. 2 receivers left and right. Hare to throw. Pocket holds. Throws it out left. Incomplete. He was looking for Phipps, and the ball was way out of his grasp. He was covered by Cameron Jones.
That last run by Stever up the rushing total for the night, Todd, to 220 for the Bison.
That is a season high easily for OBU. I believe their season high may have been 169, and they have well over 200 tonight. Minute 22 to play here in the 3rd quarter. It has been an up and down affair. OBU in 4 down territory if they don't pick it up here on 3rd and 6 at the 32. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Back to throw Hare for the 42. Now he's flushed for the pocket. He's going to run it. He has the first animal. 25 inside the 20 and tiptoes out near the 15-yard line. That'll get him about 17 more. And Scott just continues to shake his head. He swears the guy's way faster than he was last year.
And I don't know if that was the design draw play, because it looked either East Central blitzed, they let 2 rushers come in. Hare waited for those rushers to get close, and then he just took off around the right end.
They'll put it down to the 14, so it's an 18-yard carry for Preston Hare, who came in for the season, the leading rusher for Oklahoma Baptist. 2 tight ends right, 1 back set. Mallory, twins left for the 14, back in the red zone of the Bison. Hand off to Isaiah, stays low, makes a little cut. Not much doing up the middle. Tough sledding that time. He'll pick up 2 to the 12.
Boy, it sure makes it easier on the receivers and on Preston Hare when you can run the ball.
2nd down and 8. Clock is stopped with a half minute to go here in the 3rd. The reason there's an injured Tiger out there, and that is the nose tackle, Trinzel Johnson, a 5'10", 280-pound freshman from Ardmore. Al Johnson is in his 2nd season. Al Johnson was a very good player at the University of Wisconsin. In fact, was a multiple Big Ten first-team all-conference lineman. He was drafted, I believe, in the 3rd round by the Dallas Cowboys. He played for the Cowboys. He played, I believe, for the Dolphins, Arizona, and one other team. But he has had a very, very good run in football. I think he was a great hire for the East Central Athletic Department. And I was telling Mike Manos, the play-by-play guy for the Tigers tonight, you could even tell last year, just in the first game of the season, that they were much, much better. They were much more well-coached, with not even a game under his belt. And you can see 15 games later how they are really no longer a date on the schedule to be overlooked.
The running game is so impressive with the quarterback, with the delay in the belly of Ontario Douglas, and then the blocking up front. He had to have been an offensive lineman because the blocking is just outstanding for the Tigers.
Good side as the freshman Johnson walks off to the far side, the east side of Crain Family Stadium at the Herd Athletic Complex on his own accord. 2 receivers to the near side. McGraw is split wide right. Wide left is Josh Cordell. Watch those 2 as they empty the backfield. Preston Hare from the 12. With a 0 look in the backfield. Walks up behind the line of scrimmage. 17 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. They'll get the play off. Hare throws. Little fade in the back end zone for Harris. It is caught and then dropped. Incomplete. So it's 3rd down and 8. It was a pretty good throw that time again by Preston.
It was an excellent throw. It wasn't going to be intercepted. He laid it over his left shoulder. It was either going to be caught and keep a foot in bounds or go through your hands and be incomplete. And it was the backside of that
Preston
little scenario.
Is about a month, maybe a little away from becoming a dad for the first time. You know what? I'll bet he'll be darn good at that too. He is everything else he does. 3rd and 8 at the Tiger 12. Stever in the backfield with 2 receivers left and 1 split wide right. That is Noah McGraw. Hare now checks out of the play, gets the what he likes. Snap ball, snaps back, throws a screen over the middle. The ball is caught for the touchdown. They're going to say that he was tackled just outside the end zone. Jaquez Henderson was on the receiving end of that pass. And boy, I do not know how they got him down.
I don't either. Beautiful route by Henderson. He faked out, then cut up on the post pattern.
Is it me or is these jerseys hard to see?
Oh, no, they're hard. No,
that's the final play of the third quarter. OBU will have it 1st and goal to go inside the 1, 15 minutes away for their second victory.
The people in the end zone down here are disappointed they're not going to be able to see that score.
That's the end of the third quarter, brought to you by the North American Mission Board of the Bison Network.
All right, congratulations to the student section for showing your OBU spirit.
249 yards of offense. They need 250 to end that third quarter with a touchdown. So 249 of offense for OBU in the last 15 minutes. They are literally knocking on the end zone of the Tigers. Ball inside the 1 as we start quarter number 4. 2 backs in the backfield. Hare hands it off, and Stever is not going to get there. He was hit initially by Broderick Odom, the 6', 225-pound sophomore linebacker from Ada. And that as he was pushing him backwards, and that's hard to do, it took about 3 more defenders for ECU to get him down.
I think Stever's made it pretty clear tonight. It's very hard to push him backwards.
Loss of about a half yard, 2nd and goal to go with the 1.
Have no problem with the call with Tyler Stever outside the 5 and driving the linebacker in the end zone on the previous drive.
Look at McGraw on the near side. Stever is offset to the left. Hare now checking out of the play, and there was some movement. Noah McGraw, I think, may have flinched to the near side. Yep, that's exactly what it was. So now it's going to be goal to go from the 6-yard line of East Central. Boy, those are penalties that can cost you 4 points in the red zone.
Yeah, they can, but you know, if you're going to throw the football now, you like this position better than the other one.
You're right. Have a little more room to operate. Through 3 quarters, 522 yards of total offense for OBU, 331 for East Central. Stever in the backfield. Same formation, 2 receivers left, 1 right. Stever gets the handoff, banging his way inside the 5, still going. He's down to the 3-yard line, so he gets half of it, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and goal to go. And this is huge for the East Central defense. You keep it a 2-score advantage, but not 2 touchdowns if you force OBU to kick a field goal. OBU will quickly snap the football from the 3. Again, it is Stever cradling the football tight, leading in, touchdown Oklahoma Baptist. Well, Tyler Stever, for the 3rd time in his young career, has a multi-touchdown game, and this is his 2nd of the first 4 of his sophomore season.
Just covers the ball up with 2 arms and just puts his head down and runs as fast as he can right into the lineman and powers over the goal line.
Luke Wendell on for extra point number 42. The snap is back, ball is down, kick is in the air, and he split the uprights. So there's time out on the field with 13:42 to play in the football game. It's Oklahoma Baptist 42, East Central 28. This is Bison football on the Bison Radio Network.
Huge discipline for the Bison on defense. As we talked before, they had a 14-point lead, gave up the big play over the top, something that Oklahoma Baptist is susceptible to. If we can just, even if they score, just make them take a lot of time off the clock.
The Tigers came in 5th in the conference in total defense, giving up just 312 yards per ball game. But boy, the Bison have obliterated that. They almost got that themselves in the 3rd quarter, going for 249 in the 3rd. Here is Wendell's approach and a little sky kick to the far side. Return from the 20 out to the 25, down the boundary to the 28, close to the 30-yard line. That was Jaquan Lincoln. As that ball hung up a little bit, and Lincoln able to return it for about 10. First down for the Tigers in a crucial situation with 13:37 to play, and the Bison in front by 2 touchdowns.
Nice return for East Central University, but not as good as the last 2 returns they had, so I'll take that.
13:37 to go here in the second half. We have seen Kenny Inseer all the way tonight at quarterback. He hands it off to Douglas, running right. Douglas is rolled down at about the 33-yard line on the far side. We have seen Hinser and Gatewood alternate series this year. We have seen them at Southwestern each play a half. Tonight, Hinser appears maybe to have won the job as he has gone all the way in this offensive battle with Oklahoma Baptist.
Ontario Douglas, the tailback for the Tigers, does an outstanding job picking his holes and being patient, looking where to run.
Second down and 6 at the 34 with Douglas in the backfield. Gives straight ahead to Ontario, and he ran right into a black, green, and white cladded wall. They drop him at the 35 and no more, so it's going to bring up third down and 5 for the Tigers with 12:41 to play in the ball game.
And Seth Meacham was the roadblock for the Bison right there.
Third and 5. East Central 1 of 1 on third downs in the second half. 6 for 10 for the night. Another huge crowd on hand here at Crain Family Stadium at the Herd Athletic Complex. 2 receivers left, make that 3. Rolling this way, Hinser being pursued. Now he's going to keep it. Gets free of one defender that has his helmet knocked off of him at the 38-yard line. My goodness, what a huge hit that time by Trahan Lands, the cat safety. It's going to be a yard short of the 40-yard line, and that's where he needed to go for the first down. This has been a physical ball game, guys, and man, Lands just laid the pop to Hinser, and he may have to come out of the ball game. He will, because his helmet came off. So now they'll bring Tay Gatewood, the freshman from Fort Smith, Arkansas, Northside High School in there. Gatewood will keep it, runs up the back of a blocker, gets free of it, has the first down, running behind Judd Terry and Wyatt Gillette on the right side out to the 43, a gain of 4, and that will refresh the first down marker. 3 minutes gone here in the fourth.
Well, let's look at what's taking place in the Great American Conference today. Again, we've talked about it a number of times. Southern Nazarene with a 2-point conversion in the final minute of play defeats Southeastern 22-21. Both teams now with marks of 1 and 3. And we'll get the rest for you in just a moment.
First and 10 of the 43. Back out there is Hinser. Pocket holes. Throws deep over the middle. Has a receiver, and it's just off of his fingertips. Incomplete.
Ouachita Baptist improved to 4-0 as they defeat Southwestern State 26-21. That was a good game. Just a 5-point victory for top-ranked Ouachita. Monticello just getting buried at Alva. Northwestern State 28-0 in the fourth. Both those teams will be 2-2 at the end of the evening. We'll get the other 2 updates for you after this play.
Trevor Goff was the intended target of that pass that he just missed. 2nd and 10. Hand off again to Douglas. Running right. Has some room, but he's gone. Down the boundary, 30, 20, 15 to the 10, 5. Touchdown Tigers.
The defense has been unable to take advantage of a 2-touchdown lead and put the nail in that little coffin over there. And this is the second straight time that a cross-country run, in this case, pass in the other, has been the difference in making this a little coast home instead of a seat swarmer down the finish. 43
yards to pay dirt. 3rd touchdown of the night for Douglas. On for the extra point is Simmons, and he pulls the Tigers back to within 1 again at 42-35 with 11:27 to go in the 3rd period. We'll step aside for these messages for the OBU College of Graduate and Professional Studies on the Bison Network. Podcast back at our studios. Again, we are in the 4th, a shootout at the OK Corral tonight at Shawnee, 42-35 Bison.
Those other 2 games we didn't give you, they're not quite the shootouts this one is. Arkansas Tech is the last team winless right now at 0-3, trying to get their first win against Southern Arkansas. Those 2 teams tied at Arkansas Tech in the 4th at 14. And Harding has a 14-13 lead with 5 minutes to play at home against Henderson State.
Here is the right to left boot, and it is a good one. That will go into the end zone and bounce through the back. And OBU will start at the 25-yard line. I'm telling you what, I watched Harding at Ouachita. And we will see those teams in 3 weeks and a month from today. And those defenses are nasty. How good is Harding? They've held Richard Stametti and that high-powered Reddy's offense to 14 points in the 4th quarter.
Well, the Oklahoma Baptist University offense is rolling with a revived run game, have 528 total yards thus far.
Here we go, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Preston Hare will operate with Isaiah Mallory in the backfield. Looks over a 4-man defensive front. Hands it off to Mallory, trying to run left, and they corral him for a loss back to the 22-yard line. R.J. Williams, the linebacker from Grand Prairie, Texas, was the first to get in there. Mallory wanted to go right up the chute. There was nothing, then moved left, and by that time, nothing but white, black, and orange jerseys around him.
Just way too much penetration by the East Central line, led by Datavian Vale.
2nd and 13 to the 22-yard line. Long conversions have not been a problem for either offense. This is a big stop defensively for East Central. Hare fakes the throw, throwing it out deep left, and the ball underthrown and knocked away incomplete. Jalen Baldwin was working right there with Noah McGraw. Had that ball been a little bit more air underneath it, correction, that was Josh Cornell. Josh is probably able to go up and pull that ball in over Baldwin.
And Cornell and McGraw both have very high ability, able to outfight the defender for the football.
Boy, East Central, a big stop here. They'll get it back, and OBU's shown no ability to slow their offense either in the second half. 3rd and 13 of the 22, with OBU leading by a touchdown with under 11 minutes to play in the ball game. One back set, Mallory. Here comes the snap from Adams. Back to throw, Hare. Throwing deep right for Noah McGraw. Makes the adjustment and makes the leaping catch for a first down to the 47-yard line of East Central. Donovan Callis just had no idea where the football, and McGraw on that ball was able to make an adjustment.
Noah is absolutely marvelous in that kind of a situation where you are locked up against a defender and he separates himself time after time and gets into the air to make that stop. His ability to separate is as good as his ability to get up and make those leaping catches.
30 yards and a first down on a 3rd and 13 conversion. McGraw having a huge night statistically as well. Want to check something here in a moment. He needed 79 yards coming in for 1,000. Hand off to Mallory on first down, and he spins and is tackled just shy of the 40. But it's probably going to go for a flag was thrown right into the middle of the line of scrimmage. Ron Sandifer, our official. That was on the center, Lincoln Adams, who again continues to play very good, spelling Zach Blevins, the veteran center who went down in week number 1. Blevins is due to be back about any time, but Lincoln Adams is the true definition of a team player. He has waited his opportunity, the junior from Sand Springs, and he has made the most of his opportunity. So the hold puts the ball back at the 42. It'll bring up first down and 20 for OBU. Now they motion a man. That's Eli Paul on the near side, the tight end. Hare drops, steps up, throwing near side, and it's incomplete. And it was intended for Josh Cordell again. Now he was knocked to the ground, but I have no problem with there not being a flag because that ball was certainly not catchable.
McGraw is 21 away now. He has 58 for the night.
So Noah McGraw, 21 yards away from joining these names. Cagney Roberson, Stephon Turner, Josh Pettyjohn as 1,000-yard receivers at OBU.
The flag got lost
I'll tell you what happened.
People there.
They threw it right in front of the OBU sideline, which meant I didn't see it. Keaton Lusk, a backup out there for Baldwin at corner, is the one that's guilty of the foul. And it will give OBU a first down at the 43-yard line in East Central territory.
And it's Lusk that Hare has gone after the last 2 plays, and he looked over there again.
2 receivers left and right. Motion man to Shea Garner. Lines up slot left. Here comes the snap back. Hare under pressure, pulls it down. Now running left. Throws on the run, and the ball is incomplete. It sailed on him. He was looking for Shea Garner, who was well defended. And the defender there, that time the corner had some help from the safety, Cameron Jones, over the top.
Trey Marion did a good job to come back and had a perfect block that allowed Hare to roll out of the pocket and at least have a chance to make that play.
So that will bring up second down and 10. The clock stops with 9:44 to go in the ball game. Oklahoma Baptist 42, East Central 35. The line of scrimmage at the 43-yard line. Tigers have had heartbreak after heartbreak this year. Crushed to the Nazarene, and boy, they're playing well here tonight at Shawnee. One back set is Mallory with twins right. They hand it to Isaiah, cuts inside, bang, down he goes for no gain. Ball came out, and East Central is saying that they have recovered an Isaiah Mallory fumble. R.J. Williams was the one, I believe, that caused the fumble.
Wherever the ball's at, 44.
Right now it will go for a loss of 1 to the 44, but we are
Look at who comes up with the
waiting to see who has it. The Tigers have the ball. Keaton Bell, the senior outside linebacker for Moore, was the one that finally, after they got that mess untangled, came out of the pile with it.
Well, the Bison this year have been doing very well by not turning the ball over, but this could be a big one as this defense has been breaking.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. This is one of the best starting field positions for a drive tonight for East Central. In fact, it's only bested by the 38-yard line that they started in OBU's end of the field back in the first half.
After the long kickoff return.
You're right. Boy, big play, big stand right here defensively now for the Bison. OBU will rush 4. Hinser out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff, drops, now rolling left. He's going to tuck it and run, take what he can, and he's out of bounds into the Bison sideline at the 48-yard line. So that will get him almost 9 yards. And as he was out of bounds, the clock stops with 9.5 minutes to play. They've actually put it back at midfield, so it's only a gain of 6.
One thing OBU has a lot of trouble, even when they flush a quarterback out of the pocket, is to get them down. The quarterbacks either pass or get loose.
And he was not hit out of bounds. The clock begins to roll with 9:05 to play. Jackson McFarland is wide right. Gardner is tight end right. 2 receivers left with Douglas in the backfield. Ball on the left hash from the 50-yard line. Quick drop, pump fake. Pulls it down. He wants to run it. He's swallowed under. How about that? Big-time play by Torian Smith.
Great to have Torian Smith back because, of course, Robert Lolafia is absent with a bad pectoral muscle for the next 2 weeks, and Torian Smith did not play last week at Southeastern, and that time they did get the quarterback down.
Biggest third down defensively of the game for OBU. At the Bison 49, it's 3rd down and 3 for East Central. Exactly 8.5 minutes to play in a battle here tonight in Shawnee. 42-35 Bison. High snap, handoff to Douglas, running right, and he did not get there. He cut up off the right tackle and got to the 47-yard line. He needed to get to the 46.
Nice game tackling by the Bison to pull Smith, Ontario back.
The offense is still out there for East Central, and you can't blame them. The Tigers coming in with 3 of 5 on 4th down conversions. Tonight they are 1 of 1. Both of these two teams excellent on 4th down offensively. The Bison allowed their first 4th down conversion earlier. The motion, Dylan Gardner to the far side. Handoff goes to Douglas, and he has a huge hole, and he's tripped up and flips head over heels at the 42. Well, that's one of those, though, that if he gets into that second level, Scott, like he did, when you're thinking a short gain, everybody's packed in there, that could have turned into a big play, 47 yards for a score.
Ontario Douglas leaped for the first down. I think if he wasn't going just for the first down marker, he would have stayed on his feet. Same play that East Central's been running all night long.
Wide receivers left and right, twins right, wide right. Douglas gets the handoff, runs up the back of a blocker, now pushes his way forward. The ball came out, but I think they're going to blow it dead. They're blowing the play dead at the 37-yard line.
Tyler Rhodes came up with the football. That's the identical play as they ran on 4th down as well the Tigers did.
Rhodes again, who's been improving from game to game out there at that bookend spot. Thought he had a fumble recovery, so did the Bison defense, but they blew the whistle, so the play automatically dead. A 5-yard carry for Ontario Douglas to the 37. Approaching 6.5 minutes to go in regulation. Fake handoff, Hinser keeps it, and he's knocked down at the 34-yard line of OBU. That'll be a gain of 3. It's going to bring up 2nd down, make that 3rd down and 2. Obviously, the Tigers are in 4-down territory.
Torian Smith and Josh Arnold on the tackle.
3rd and 2. A long 2 for East Central. Ball square at the 34-yard line of OBU. With 6:12 to play in the ball game. Hinser out of the shotgun. 3 receivers wide left. Douglas is in the backfield. Now Hinser will keep it running off the right end, and he did not get to the 1st down marker. He got to the 33. He needed to get to the 32. OBU did a good job again stringing that play out on the wide side of the field.
Tyler Rhodes and Josh Arnold ganging up on the quarterback.
Full yard needed to keep this drive alive. They went for it on 4th down back near midfield at the OBU 47. You know they're going for it now at the 33. Tigers are perfect on 4th down tries tonight. For the year, they now are 5 of 7. Come on, guys, have another stop. 2 tight ends in there with a 1 back look. 1 receiver left. Hinsare will keep it. Running right, has the 1st down and more. He's inside the 30 and down to the 27-yard line. That was a design play, and he picks up about 6 yards on what was 4th and a yard.
Hinsare, another tough quarterback back to get to the ground, just like at Southeastern last week.
Tell you what, they have something working with Hinsare for 3 more years and Ontario Douglas in that backfield for 2 more years. This is a team that not many people are going to play on the schedule going forward. 1st and 10. They've overcome 4th and 1 twice on this drive. Back to Douglas. No, it's Hinsare keeping, trying to run wide right, gets out of an ankle tackle, and now a late hit's going to be called against OBU.
That flag never falls. That flag is never thrown, except Hinsare ran over one of the advertising boards as he was pushed, had a lot of momentum. When he hit that board, there was no call until he hit the board. The board was enough to make the call. If he leaps over the board, there's no call. If he runs in between 2 boards, there's no call. That's what you call a board call.
And this is gut check time for both teams.
Lane Martin is the one that's going to get charged for the late hit. They'll tack that on to the end of the run, which came to a stop at the 25-yard line.
Hey, I'm not saying that he shouldn't have thrown it. I'm just saying that the action of the play and what took place prompted the hanky to come out.
4:44 to play in the ball game. East Central is in the red zone at the Bison 13. Gatewood is out there at quarterback. Gatewood throws it out right for Ontario Douglas, and OBU had that diagnosed well. They'll tackle him between the 7 and 8 yard line. So a quick gain of about 6. Clock continuing to wind down with 4:25 to play in the ball game.
Lane Martin with the tackle.
Linebacker Lane Martin with the tackle.
2nd down and 6. They have 7 on the board, but it's more like 6. They empty the backfield. Gatewood throws it out left for Douglas, looking for a block, cuts right, and it is tripped up by the ankles and stumbles to the 5-yard line. Felipe Alvear was the one that got him by the foot, maybe to save a touchdown.
3:52 left in the game. 3rd and 2 for East Central.
3rd down and 2 for the Tigers at the 5. Bell chimes, making the noise. Crowd needs to get to their feet. They've been really quiet tonight. 2 receivers wide right. Hand off to Douglas, coming left. Stopped short of the goal line. He was hit at the 4 and stumbled down to the 1. So it's going to bring up a fresh set of downs. 1st and goal to go.
Well, we got the drama set up again.
Here's the good thing, though. If they score on this play, guess who gets the football with probably under 3 minutes to play? I like my chances.
Do I have to guess who gets the football? Okay.
1st and goal to go. Ball at the 1 yard line. And now
false start.
There was movement up front against the Tigers.
Full snap. False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty.
It's on Judd Terry, the right guard. That makes it a little more difficult when you're a primarily running team as East Central is in the red zone. We told you coming in that they had 7 touchdowns this year, or 7 scores in the red zone. 6 of those touchdowns and all were rushing.
Let's go, Bison fans.
So 1st down and goal to go at the 6. Clock reads exactly 3 minutes to play in the ball game. 42-35. Play action pass. Rolling right, Hinsare being chased. Throws to the goal line, and it is incomplete. Caught out of bounds, and it will bring up 2nd down.
Josh Arnold, great pressure to force Hinsare to get rid of the ball quickly.
Bison shuffling in, a bunch of new defensive players up front. That's something that we've seen different this year than in past years. They would never have been able to overcome the loss of Gingrich. They wouldn't have been able to overcome the loss of Lolafia, of Levashak, if they had not added a lot of depth up front. Second and goal to go at the 6. McFarland lines up slot right. Hand off to Douglas, sweeping right in, cuts inside, did not get there. He's tackled to the 4. That's going to bring up third down and goal to go. Clock continuing to tick down. We're at 2:38 to play in the ball game.
Miles Russell and Josh Arnold both on the tackle.
Both teams with 3 timeouts left. It's third down and goal to go. Obviously, 4-down territory again. And more than likely, you know who's going to get the ball. Number 6, Ontario Douglas. Trying for back-to-back weeks of 4 rushing touchdowns. 2 receivers wide left, 1 to the far right. Handoff. No, it's a keeper. Hinsare running right to the 5. Cuts inside. It is belted out of bounds just shy of the pylon.
Oh, big call right there. He looked like he was in. 2 officials on the play. Apparently his foot nudged that out of bounds line because he did cross into the end zone. Here we go. Here's the game, baby.
Play of the drive. You're right. 1:58 and counting to play. Here comes the crowd. The Bison sideline urging it on. 4th and goal to go. The ball is at the 2-yard line. Douglas is in the backfield. Now 1:41 to play. Gardner motions to the far side. Hinsare hands it off to Douglas. Diving towards the end zone. They right now look like they spotted it short. Now the linesman comes in and says touchdown Tigers. Boy, if he got in there, guys, and it was impossible to see from up here, he could not have gotten in by much.
Yep, it was close.
So Ontario Douglas has 4 more rushing touchdowns tonight, and he has his 7th career rushing touchdown. And the Tigers on the road are going to go for 2. This is a good call by Al Johnson.
Last year, the Tigers missed the extra point trying to tie the Bison at the end of the game.
3 years ago at East Central and Ada, OBU won in overtime on a 2-point conversion catch by Reese Gilbert.
And the call's good also because they got 3 timeouts.
Here we go, single setback. Hinsare auto reverse, hands it off, and they're not going to get there. The Bison sniffed that out as they handed off to Trey Walker, and Smith was the one that was able to get him to the ground. I'm surprised they called that because that thing took too long to develop.
Exactly, and Torian Smith got penetration from the tackle position in the backfield, ate up the reverse.
Now I'm going to look ahead right here. And I'm looking ahead to when you get the football, you need to call at least one play where you are thinking extend the field, stretch the field to the sideline, run some clock because they have 3 timeouts. And if you just hand the ball off, run straight ahead, you're going to use about 15, 20 seconds on 3 plays. So you need to have a little bit of innovativeness here and not be afraid to run the ball. If you're going to run it, stretch the field, put a little width in the field, run some time.
We saw this 2 weeks ago in Magnolia. OBU did not put the ball in the air, and I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying they didn't, and unfortunately for the Bison, Southern Arkansas had 3 timeouts remaining. Now, what do you do here, Brooksy? Do you go for the onside kick? I don't think you do. I think you kick it away, and with 3 timeouts, hope your defense can get a stop.
Well, I would think so here because of the fact of the three timeouts. If you try the onside kick and you don't get it, although he looks like that's what they're going to do, so I guess we can forget that idea, huh?
Here we go. Simmons will kick it away to the near side. Big hop, and it goes out of bounds over the Bison sideline. He got a hop, but unfortunately it just went way too high of any of the gunners downfield to get it, and OBU is going to have a chance to ice this game away with outstanding starting field position with 1:32 to play. And I'll tell you what this does, Brooksy. It also affords you the opportunity to get even more aggressive.
We've been talking about Nick Boone on the special teams, right? That ball is spinning towards him. Some players would have tried to leap up and catch that ball. He started to leap, and then he just stood there, and it spun up and over him. Take no chances. Ball goes out of bounds.
OBU will start at the Tiger 47-yard line after the failed onside kick attempt by the Tigers, their first try this season. Stever is out there in a pistol formation, 2 receivers left. Hare hands it off to Tyler, out of an ankle tackle, bounces right, 40, down the boundary, 35, bullies his way through his own blocker, and then finally is corralled and dropped after a first down carry at the 31-yard line by Job, the senior outside linebacker, and we get a timeout on the field. I want to say something about Job. Job is wearing number 1, and you might say, so what's the big deal? Last year, in his first year in Ada, Al Johnson started a tradition that the player that exemplified what Tiger football and the program is all about, through leadership, through character, on and off the field, would wear jersey number 1. And it's Basaru Job this year that just made that tackle that is wearing number 1 the second year of the Al Johnson regime.
All right, the play called. Stever gets the first down. This is the important thing. They had to use the timeout. The clock would have started to move again after the chains were set. They could have milked 23, 4 off of the clock before they took a snap. They had to take a timeout. But now you're in a different scenario. You had 3 timeouts with a first down earlier. Now you have 2 timeouts with a first down. Huge difference with a minute 25 to go.
Line of scrimmage at the 31-yard line of East Central, $1:25 to play. Tigers again with 2 timeouts, pistol formation, same result. Handoff goes to Stever, running right up the gut. Gets
here
down
comes
to
the
the
timeout.
26. This will be their second spent timeout.
All right,
and
so
5 yards right there for Tyler.
You got 120 here. Probably going to call the same play again. If you get the first down, the game's over. But if you don't get the first down, then you're going to be looking at a 3rd down, and that will be the final timeout. Then you can run the football. You still got 4th down. Then you can milk another 25 off the clock.
As we said earlier, a huge recruiting night here on campus. A lot of talented young men being brought in by Chris Jensen and his staff. And, man, I hope they like what they see because this program is on the rise. 2nd down and 5 after Stever gains to the 26 of East Central. Next week, 6 o'clock from Russellville, Arkansas Tech at Oklahoma Baptist with a pregame show at 5:30 in Tulsa, Norman, Oklahoma City, the flagship station, KGFF here in Shawnee.
Number 9 on the line, Todd. Do you know what that is? Win number 9 in a row over Oklahoma Post. Is that right, or is it 8? Just 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, number 8 is on the line.
OBU will not play another in-state team until they visit Alva on November the 2nd. Power pistol formation, handoff to Stever up the middle. Did not get the first down. They're going to spot it just inside the 25. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 2. Clock still is winding down. We're under a minute 10 to play. Tigers may be going to hope that they can get the stop here on 3rd down. They still have 1 timeout, and we're under a minute to play. 3rd down and a long 3 for the 24-yard line of the Tigers.
They didn't take the timeout.
No, they didn't. I don't know what they're doing. I thought maybe they were going to be content to try to get a stop, but, man, they've used up 45 seconds that they could have saved.
Well, the play clock's at 10, and he's going to let it run down to 1.
Hare will snap it with 2 seconds, and now the Bison are going to call a timeout. I do not understand that whatsoever. You have 1 timeout, and you just allowed Oklahoma Baptist to burn
40 seconds.
40 seconds of the clock.
If you have the time, if you take the timeout,
they were banked.
It's 3rd down. I understand that, but I mean, what's the difference here?
Yeah, when I said they're banking on getting a defensive stop, I didn't take into account that OBU can take 40 seconds off the clock. I don't know what's going on. I know this 2 weeks ago at Southern Arkansas, we saw great time management by the Mule Riders, burning their 3 timeouts to give themselves a chance for that game-winning field goal. Both of these teams think they should have at least 2 wins. Both maybe feel like they could be 3-0. The Tigers gave up 1 offensive touchdown to Northwestern in week 1, had 2 turnovers returned for scores. They had 8 turnovers and a negative 5 turnover march in the first 2 weeks. spotted Southwestern a 3-touchdown lead in Weatherford 2 weeks ago, and then came back and fell 24-21 before winning last week at Southern Nazarene. 3rd down and 3 for OBU at the Tiger 24. Here's your ball game. 2, make that 3 receivers left. Stever is in the backfield. Hare will keep it. He's got running room. 20, 15, 10, 5. Hello, win column, Oklahoma Baptist.
What a great call.
They were thinking Tyler Stever, and Hare made a perfect fake into the belly of Tyler Stever, and then the middle just opened, and Preston Hare went in from 24 yards away to put this game out of reach. Well, I say that. It would take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. But with only 1 timeout and 23 seconds to play, OBU is going to spend their second of 3 timeouts. Right now it is a 7-point lead, but it would take a touchdown and it would take a 2-point conversion with only 1 timeout and 23 seconds to play, and that is very close to miracle status for East Central.
601 total yards of offense on that touchdown run by Preston Hare. Not a bad night, huh?
No, it isn't. It's a big extra point here because East Central obviously showed that they will go for 2. And the win here on the road after their last touchdown. This would force them, if they were to score, to go for 2. And Chris Jensen now is going to go for a 2-point conversion. It makes sense because you're already up 7. And a 2-point conversion ices it away. 1 back in the backfield. Stever out of the Wildcat. Fakes the handoff, and he'll walk in. There's your ball game. How good was that play call?
Just as good as the one previous. Fake a handoff in the background, get a 20-something yard run for a touchdown, and then do the same thing with your Wildcat for the 2-point conversion.
So it is academic now with 23 seconds to play, and OBU has put half 100 on the board, 50-41 over East Central.
Also, Todd, that ends, sorry about my math there, on 9 instead of 8. It was the end of 2017, SNU, and then you had 5 opponents last year. That's 6, and last week makes 7. So you can laugh at me for a long time. That's 8 wins in a row now over Oklahoma opponents. But it ends this little back-and-forth scenario between these teams of winning at the other team's place. That's over.
Yep, the road teams had been unbeaten in the first 4 meetings since Oklahoma Baptist in 2015 joined the Great American Conference. Well, Luke Wendell will kick this away. East Central has a long road trip ahead of them next week. They'll be in Monticello. OBU will make a 3-hour, 15-minute trip over to Russellville, Arkansas to take on Tech. Post-game show, stats, scoring, conference scores, and then we will also have our post-game interviews with Scott Wanish down on the field, Chris Jensen, and a player or 2 here on the Bison Radio Network. Wendell to kick it away from left to right, and this will angle to the near side, and it goes out of bounds. So it'll be at the 35-yard line is where East Central will have it, and they will do so for the final 23 seconds of the ball game. Chris Jensen will be 3-2 now against East Central. This will be the 15th win all time in school history between these two institutions, separated by less than an hour's drive. The Bison will be 2-2 after 4 games for the 3rd time in 4 years and the 2nd consecutive season. A win next week at Arkansas Tech would give them an above 500 record at the latest point of the season since 2015. OBU late to get a defender out there on the field. They'll hand it off now to Miles Davis, running right, 45, and breaks a tackle there, and then is ushered out of bounds to the 47-yard line, so a gain of 12. That'll stop the clock and serve a little bit of time with 15 seconds to play. I'm still just scratching my head, Brooksy, as to why they did not burn that last time out.
Did you hear me say anything? That's because I'm still speechless over it.
Actually, an 11-yard gain. They're going to put it down to the 46-yard line. Bison will be 2-2. East Central will be 1-3. Gatewood in there at quarterback, slings it out right. The ball is caught. Jaquan Lincoln short of the first down. He's out of bounds near the 46 of OBU. They'll actually spot at the 47. So a good gain. They're working the sideline, but this game down to the final 11 seconds. 5 yards on the catch. Second down for the 47 of OBU. 3 receivers, 2 to the near side. Handoff will go again to check that Tyson Jones, running left, and bang, he is hit hard at the 44-yard line. That was actually Miles Davis on what should be for the final play of the ball game, and it will be.
Let's go!
Finals, well, hold on. There's 2 seconds of the clock. And now they do wind it down, and there's no time remaining. To Oklahoma Baptist, it's kind of a strange ending with the clock. Holds on to beat East Central tonight, 50-41 in a wild one here at Crain Family Stadium in the Hurt Athletic Complex. Al Johnson, Chris Jensen making their way towards the logo in the middle of the field to congratulate one another. And Oklahoma Baptist is 2-2 after 4 weeks, winning 50-41. Our wrap-up show is coming up next on the Bison Radio Network.
Coach, always need to make big plays at the end. Stopping a 2-point conversion. Torian Smith, you didn't have him last week. He got penetration, stopped that reverse to preserve the win.
Yeah, that was a big play, huge play. We just needed one play. East Central did a great job moving the ball and spreading around a little bit and finding weak places in the defense. But I just kept thinking we just need to make one play. And Taria made that one play, and it was big. It was huge.
There's a lot of big plays throughout, 50-41 win on offense. You had converted 2 4th downs. And then how about, we always talk about how good your conditioning is this year. Tyler Stever had to do with a great play and conditioning. He was outside the 5-yard line, just powered the defense and ran into the end zone.
Yeah, he's such a powerful back, and, we know he's capable of that. Just proud of his effort.
How about being 8-0 the last against Oklahoma teams, how your program is advancing?
Well, we're focused on being 1-0 next week. That's the main thing. And it's, we have to fight our butt off to get there. We need to get to a point where we can handle things early and keep things taken care of. But we're making progress, and I'm just pleased with the effort of the players, pleased with how they battle and compete week in, week out.
How about your quarterback, Preston Hare, and the way he's in tune with Josh Cornell and the other receivers? Yeah,
no, Preston does a phenomenal job, and Coach Brown calling the pass plays Coach Brown really is calling the offense from the press box. Coach Gothard is in charge of the game plan and everything. They all work together really hard. And then Coach Brown is the play caller, and he's done a great job making adjustments. And then Preston, the more games we play, the more Preston and Coach Brown are on the same page. And early on, Preston wasn't sure exactly what Coach Brown was seeing, but now I think they're starting to think alike.
Congratulations on the victory.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Chris Jensen